down.
I got it.
All right, so we're live. Give people a minute before we get all started. See if Jose shows up.
Jose.
Pesky Cuban guy. Oh man, I'm trying to get the links sent out as well, real quick. Copy. Close. Not for kids. No kids. All right, well, fuck it. Let's do this.
Let's go
Oh,
out to
I
the
just heard a ding.
lobby.
Welcome to Collector's Hideout, the podcast where we talk about just anything that kind of pops in our mind. We decide to talk about for the evening. Tonight, by request of Shellhead Tony, he wants to talk about aliens, and I am not going to say no to alien and predator talk. So that's what we're doing. And whenever that comes up, that gets other people's attention who want to join in. So he's been on before. He hasn't been on in a little bit, but Zero Cool, how you doing, man? Thank you for
Doing
joining us.
good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
That man, see, are you gonna be changing the background just periodically throughout
I
the cast?
can. Yeah, I can if you want.
'Cause there's so many badass. But and then, of course, by request of the show, you got Shellhead Tony here as well. How you doing, man?
Beautiful
Here.
Thursday.
Bro, I need the fucking Saturday is what I need.
You and everybody else in the world.
I need this week to be over. It's Psycho. Thanks, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I can't divulge that information, or else if my bosses see, I might get in trouble.
What's up, Mama?
So, I'm doing great.
Paula?
Doing amazing. So I don't know where Tony really wants to start with this whole alien thing, but I know Tony has questions and he wants to talk aliens. So Tony, what was on your mind that made you want to talk aliens? I know we were talking Terminator.
That's what started it. So I forget what happened in Terminator that made me even think of it.
Well, it's all the same actors, right?
Yeah, I think that was some of it. And then when I started watching Predator, the other day I was like sending messages in the group chat because I'm like, God, I forgot how like long this movie drags shit out before the Predator does anything. And then I don't know if you guys know, there's like I'm all over the place right this second before we start getting into meat and potatoes, but there's a part where was that my cat or somebody else's?
Yours.
Good God, it scared me. We got a lot of animal noises going on in the background. So, but there's I don't know if you guys know, but I guess when they shot the scenes for Predator, and I was reading this, when they shot the scenes, they had all eaten something bad, whether it was like from the food truck or whatever, I guess the day before or the day of. And so everybody on set had like gastrointestinal food poisoning. So they weren't vomiting, right? But they all had real bad diarrhea. So you know the scene where the real creepy guy standing there, he's like the real quiet guy. It looks like the Indian type guy, the tracker guy.
Billy, yeah,
Billy.
So I don't know their names. I don't know well enough, so you guys can school me on that. But he's sitting there and he's like looking into the woods, right? Or like into the forest. He didn't know that Schwarzenegger was going to tap him on the shoulder. So when he turns his head and looks at him, that's real fear in his face that he might have crapped his pants right then and there. So they were all clenching cheeks that whole time. So like when he got tapped on the shoulder, I love it. I was reading the thing and I'm like, and when you like, I read the thing and then I watched the movie so I could see it in his face. He's like,
so supposedly, I was telling you about this, Tony. Supposedly, I don't remember the actor's name, but the guy who played Billy is supposedly like insane, and they had security on set to protect all the other actors from him.
Yeah, you said
like,
that.
He's batshit crazy. But something else I mentioned because of the whole shitting yourself thing during the movie, and when you first brought it up, the first thing that popped in my head was Indiana Jones, right? Because that
did they have food
happened.
poisoning on that?
Harrison Ford did.
Oh,
So the scene where he's getting ready to fight the big Arabian guy or whatever the hell he is,
the
like
Russian
he
guy.
pulls out the
Oh,
he
wait,
no,
Temple of Doom.
No,
I
in
don't
the
know which
first one, in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they're in
he's
the
getting ready to fight the
marketplace.
guy. He like pulls out the sword, starts like swinging around and shit, and then he like just pulls out a gun and shoots him. There was supposed to be a fight scene there, but Harrison Ford was fucking sick, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm not fucking doing that, or else he's probably gonna shit or puke himself." So he just pulled a gun out and fucking improv shooting and killing that guy to get over with, and end the scene.
So
Done.
there's not a whole lot that I can add this episode because Chris is going to know everything about Alien and Predator. But I will add two things. Firstly, the name of the actor is Sonny Landham or Landham or however you pronounce it.
Sonny Poo
He
Pants.
played Billy. And secondly, to comment on what Tony said earlier, how the movie just goes on and on forever until the Predator actually does something. Just so you know, Tony, that's called building suspense, right? Like, it's a typical movie thing. It's a plot device that they use to kind of get you to anticipate what's going to happen. It's called building suspense. I didn't want you to be confused.
So when Tony called me about that and mentioned how he's like, bro, this is like the first hour of this movie. It's almost like you're watching a completely different movie, right?
Yes.
Because it's really a war movie that you're watching.
At the beginning, yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, like almost the first hour. The movie's like damn near 2 hours long. At least it feels like it. When you watch it, like how long it does drag out. And when Tony, I'm like, you're absolutely right. It feels like because they did the Spielberg Jaws or like they did with Alien with Ridley Scott. Like they don't show you the Predator in the beginning. You see like through his eyes, you see the little hints, but you never actually see him. So like they built up that suspense, but they did it for so long that there's even parts of it where you're like, you kind of forget that there's something even hunting them. So the suspense that's building kind of dies because it is just how much of the story they're trying to tell in that army-esque. But once it starts rolling, then it turns into a completely different movie and it completely changes and kicks ass.
Yeah.
And,
Because the
and I
Predator's a
thoroughly,
fucking monster in that.
I thoroughly felt like, and I said to you about Tropic Thunder, and I love Tropic Thunder, and like now going back, I'm like cross-referencing, right? So like you watch Tropic Thunder, and you can see where they may have taken a bunch of inspiration from the character development from Predator, because it's mostly the same guys, like the way they present themselves. Like there's the guy who's like all tweaking out, there's a hardcore military guy, there's the nerd. It just all makes sense, and that might be every Commando style movie. But I immediately, as I'm watching it, I'm like, holy shit, it's Tropic Thunder, but with a Predator.
I guess. I mean, I don't know if
That's
we
fair.
want to give Jose an opportunity to say hello since he got in while we were discussing.
What's up,
things.
Jose?
What's up?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
So is your computer working or are you on your phone?
Yeah, no. I got the computer working. I had to switch up a couple of the cables and fix it, but it's fixed now. I'm using a different monitor, but yeah, everything's fine now.
I will say, since I know we're gonna like deep dive into a lot of these movies, imagine how bad Predator would have been if they went with the first design and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Would we even have gotten a sequel?
No.
Would anything have happened?
No.
Right.
That design was so silly and bad.
He wasn't the
I mean,
right.
basically,
action
it was
star for the
a.
time.
Have you seen the design, Tony? The original?
No.
Can you pull it up?
I did a TikTok on it the other day.
Yeah, he did.
Just
Basically,
posting
I'll
it.
see if I can. I'll look for it real quick. But it's basically like a space turtle, and is Jean-Claude Van Damme in the suit. So it's very short.
From what I remember, it kind of looks like Toka, doesn't it? Like to a certain extent, it looks very similar to the design we got for Toka in Turtles 2.
To me, it looks like a mantis. Almost.
That's what I was gonna say. It's more Mantis.
Yeah.
Design. And what was the intent? Does anybody know what the intent was? Was that supposed to be the suit, and he was supposed to be underneath it as a predator that we know, or
That looks like something out of the Guyver.
No. Like that. So they've redone. They paid homage to it one time in a movie, right? In Predators, they paid homage to this design. Because if you remember the movie Predators,
right?
What'd your mom say?
No, I was saying in Predators, it's the thing that's running around in the cages, right?
Is that it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, yeah, that's like a toy version. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna bring up the actual Jean-Claude in it.
Because that
Shrink
looks
yours
like
down.
something out of the Guyver.
But shrink that down.
Yeah, I just got to close out my screen.
Yeah, I'll bring up the one that's where the fuck is it?
Crystal, what's up, girl?
What the fuck, man?
I remember the first time Chris showed me the design, we laughed for a good like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, no, it's not good. If it'll let me share the fucking screen. There we go. Boom, got it. So here's Jean-Claude in the suit.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's definitely, like I said, it has a Guyver feel to it. And if anything, it's almost more xenomorph, like in the body structure and the build. But then that head, it's like a weird mantis turtle thing. But just think about how short Jean-Claude Van Damme is versus Arnold and how tall he is.
and the rest of the actors too, because I mean Jesse Ventura was also like everyone would have towered over him.
Yeah.
So,
So they instantly didn't like it, and they contacted Stan Winston to like dream up something else. And he was on an airplane, and just something hit him. He's like, you know what? Something with mandibles sounds good, and then he created what we know as the Predator.
I do like that
the way
the
the
Predator like gets mad or something, or yells or screeches, or whatever the fuck he does. I do like that his jaw just goes and whips open. I think that's a cool feature.
Almost like a hair clip for women, like the just
Yes.
I'm
That's
pretty
exactly what it
sure.
looks like.
I'm pretty sure Steve Buscemi was supposed to play the part at one point too, or was given the role and had to do something else or something, which I thought
Jesus
would have
Christ,
been a
that'd be
weird.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi as the Predator.
Yeah.
because they wound up giving obviously the part wound up going to a basketball player who was like 7'2".
yeah, Kevin
They
Peter.
they want somebody to make Arnold look small.
Yeah.
Because he
Steve
towers over Arnold.
Buscemi looks like a live action version of Moe from The Simpsons.
100%.
There's actually like a legend too that about the redesign of the Predator, that apparently when they called Stan Winston, that Stan Winston was like on a flight with James Cameron, and James Cameron had like mentioned like they were actually working on the design together, and James Cameron was the one that mentioned the Predator having like mandibles.
He said
or
something
like
about
an
mandibles
extra set.
sounds cool, and then
Yeah.
they built that. Fucking James Cameron. I'm almost glad he never actually did a Predator movie.
Why?
Well, because I've enjoyed what they were, and a James Cameron version would probably be a lot, which wouldn't necessarily be bad, but I can't see adding James Cameron to like what we know is a Predator movie. I just can't see where I would enjoy it. Now, maybe a newer rendition like they are now with the comic book versions of the Predator, I could be more open to a James Cameron version. But like that horror-esque versions, just not something I would want to see. But yeah, fucking Predator, bro. That the movie itself starts off slow as shit, then it gets really fucking good, but then you realize that it's the idea of like the big strong guy is thrown out the window because Arnold doesn't actually beat the Predator with muscle or anything. He gets fucking dumb luck of setting a booby trap that eventually worked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like he had to set a booby trap and then like set a trap for the booby trap in case the Predator saw it, which he did. And then like that's how he kills him.
But
He doesn't even kill him. The Predator blows himself up. So
is it dumb luck or is it intelligence?
dumb luck.
I
It's
never
dumb
thought-
luck.
I see when I watch the movie, I don't think that. I think it's the years of training. It's the immense amount of incursions that he's done in all different places in the world, having to go back and remember what he learned about guerrilla warfare and trying to survive. I mean, I don't know that it was dumb luck that he discovered that he could hide from the Predator's sensors. Like
Yeah.
that part is absolutely dumb luck.
Dumb luck.
But when he realized it took intelligence to realize that, and then actually use it to his advantage to camouflage his entire body. I think, again, at least in my opinion, and I'm not an alien and or a predator savant the way that Chris is, but never once did I, upon watching that movie, think it was just dumb luck or random happenstance that he got into that allowed him to beat the predator.
So it lays out what it does is that it lays out the future movies, right? Because not every, but majority of the movies to come afterwards, people beat the predator with traps, right? You don't see anybody really go hand to hand and beat a unhandicapped predator. I have to say that because in Predator 2, Danny Glover fights a predator hand to hand and wins, but also the predator was missing an arm, has
Got a
like
wheelchair.
yeah, damn near dying, and I still to this day, and people can argue with me all you want, in my head canon, that Harrigan, which is Danny Glover's character, is not him. That is actually Murtaugh, and Riggs is off in the sand dunes with a sniper rifle, helping pick off the predator. That's the only way you're gonna tell me that Danny Glover beats a predator.
So like
Ever.
he pulled his gun out and he's like, like shoots him. I was 1 week from retirement. Shoot him.
What we're not going to do is trash Lethal Weapon. Those movies are fantastic.
No.
Riggs!
100%.
I'm just saying that Murtaugh can't beat a predator. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
Wasn't
they
it? Wasn't
beat
it
them up
something?
too.
Yeah,
right?
wasn't it
Like,
something that the city hunter predator was also just like this was like one of its first hunts or something?
So
Like I
in
read somewhere
theory,
that's what it was.
in the theory of it is that the jungle hunter was, if I remember correctly, Jungle Hunter, which is the first one, he's like the youngest one. City Hunter's there with his clan, and he was out hunting more, right? Because you figure Jungle Hunter, he's out in the trees, but when you're in the city, it's a more difficult hunt, right? Because you got a lot more eyes. Your camouflage is all urban, right? You're not just be able to hide behind a tree the entire time. It's a different setup, but it suggests that he is actually with the tribe that has much more experience versus the jungle hunter who's by himself with absolutely nothing, right?
Okay.
Because
I
when
think
you
it
see,
hints that he's a juvenile. I think it hints like this is like, I don't know, like a coming of age type. Hey, this is
but
this
they
is
all
birthday
kind of
party.
are.
They all are. Yeah, they all are.
Because you don't see like a real predator who's like what they call blooded until you get to Alien versus Predator R
Yeah.
and
with Wolf.
whatever the hell you call it. Alien versus Predator R. That one, that's when you see Wolf, and he's like a blooded predator. That's why he's like a real badass.
Yeah.
He comes down, he's like the cleaner of the situation,
Yeah,
right?
because they know
Every other predator we've
how
seen,
yeah, and it was because of like how real the threat like the Pred alien was, and that the Pred alien was like actually able to somehow, I don't know why they did this, but the Pred alien was like able to like actually like inject, I guess, chest bursters into like pregnant women.
yeah, with
So
with his mouth, like anybody,
yeah,
but yeah, he used a pregnant woman because she had more cavity space or whatever.
yeah,
So,
which was
but this is one thing that Tony did ask last week when we were talking about the whole Terminator was kind of like the timeline of aliens, because with the whole Bishop and Kyle Reese being from the future, but then you have Hicks, who I was telling Tony is even further in the future, right? Aliens takes place much further in the future than the Terminator, where they come from whatever year they're supposed to be coming from. But Tony, also one of the things you were inquiring about was where the Predator movies stand in their timeline.
Yeah.
So
were they? So
Good.
obviously the one with the first one with Schwarzenegger. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, it looks like it could be like in the 80s, like they shot it back in the 80s or whatever, right? Well, they did shoot in the 80s, but you know what I mean? Like, it could be like that it took place in the 80s, but at the same time, the the Predator itself, and I guess like some of the conversations they have leading me to believe that maybe it's a little more in the future. It was shot in the future, and then I also thought that what was the guy we were talking about? Fuck.
Yeah, that guy.
Billy.
No, when I was talking to Chris, I had like a whole story and everything like drawn out in my head as to what I thought was going on. I don't know.
Like
Don't quote me. It'll pop in my head
now.
when you guys start talking. Go ahead.
So the Predator, I don't remember the exact year Predator takes place.
I gotta start
but
writing shit down.
It's the late 70s, early 80s. Like it's current time, right? Essentially. Compared to like doing like a period piece or like a futuristic piece, it's current time. So is Predator 2 takes place in the 90s. You could just tell by its 1990s LA. If I remember correctly, they even mentioned like the riots and stuff that were going on.
Yeah,
Predator's 87.
Yeah, I was.
It
gonna
came
say,
out in 87. Yeah,
I thought that their first Predator movie was set at the current year, like at 87, because they mentioned other military conflicts that the team had fought in that were
like Vietnamish, like
yeah. So like
But
I thought
roughly,
Predator was always given to us at like current time, like modern time.
yeah. So everything we've had Predator wise has been modern current time until the recent editions of Prey, which takes place back in what the 1700s, 1800s. It was Native Americans and everything.
1719.
Yeah, and then you have the animated ones with the hunter or the killer of killers. Those take place sporadic
All different timelines.
and in different planets. And then Badlands is obviously in the future.
The near future,
So-
though.
Uh,
No. I mean, according to Google, I looked it up while you were talking because I was just curious. Predator 2 is actually set the farthest away from its release date. So Predator 2 was actually set in 1997, but released in 1990.
okay.
And
Predator Badlands has androids and all that shit, and they're doing space travel with androids. That's nowhere near future.
Yeah, that seems like pretty far from the future.
it says Predator Badlands is set in the near future.
I mean, I guess it's nearer than a million years, but
It's probably. I mean, it's definitely closer in the time in terms of like the chronology. It's probably closer to us than like the original Alien, but it's still like
Than
pretty far in
Alien.
the future.
I would
What's-
think it's after the original Alien. I don't know. I think
that's the only one that really goes off in the future. Everything else is
Yeah.
kind of modern.
The other thing that's
But
crazy.
then this is where it gets weird, Tony.
This is where it got weird.
Go ahead, Tony, Psycho.
No, I was saying the
it gets
thing
weirder.
the thing that's really weird is Terminator is set, like the future of Terminator is set in 2029, and we're not that far away from it.
Huh?
Yeah,
Go figure.
so-
And we're doing
Alien-
AI and everything's getting better. Who knew?
and the country's doing
Is it?
great. Yeah.
So, but Tony, so one thing you did ask though last week was if there's ever like been a mention of like time travel when it comes to like predators and stuff. And there has been mention of either time travel or they have insanely long lifespans. So when the suggestion of that is in Predator 2, when they go on the ship, you see like a bunch of trophies, which are skulls all over the ship. You see like a T-Rex skull. You see like these huge animal skulls. Then you even see a xenomorph skull,
And
which
John was
suggests that aliens are here in modern time, or predators are traveling, traveling through time, or the aliens here. But then you get Alien versus Predator, where there's aliens in the Antarctic in 2004 when that movie takes place.
But don't we also not know the origin of the xenomorph? Because I thought I remember you telling me that the xenomorph that's created in Covenant isn't actually a xenomorph. It's
Correct.
It's something else. So we don't even know how long the xenomorph species has been around, when it was created, or anything else.
Okay. So if we want to go extended universe, right? You go into the EU of this shit. Predators are savages. They don't have technology. They are a savage species. They're given all their technology by the space jockey, right? And Tony,
For
you would know
what?
the space jockey is in the first Alien movie, that giant fucking thing that they're walking on
Oh,
in the beginning of the movie before they see the eggs that gets on Kane's face. That giant fucking creature is a space jockey, and the Predators got their technology from them, and they gave Predators essentially xenomorphs to practice hunting and using the technology. So the xenomorphs were just like fodder for them to train with.
I mean, it would make sense because they breed so rapidly. They can
they're just
have a
infestations.
population to hunt very very quickly. So that, I mean, that makes sense. The only thing that doesn't make sense is why the hell would the space jockey give the predators all the technology?
Why not? The
For
space jockey.
balance.
So what the space jockey? One of the novels, a space jockey, is essentially, who's seen Flight of the Navigator?
Me.
So
Everybody
you
in
know
this chat,
how.
I guarantee it.
So you know how that the ship has like that, all those aliens like in containers.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's essentially what the space jockey is. He does that. He's got in his ship. He's got tons of aliens and species from different planets. He plays like God, and he introduces and makes things happen and for enjoyment and whatnot, and sets them ablaze and weaponizes things. But that's why the Predator has such barbaric instincts and acts like a straight up savage, but has this technology that's like beyond anything they should really know how to do. And they never like show a Predator actually making it because they were technically given to them, and they just ran with it.
I guess it's a good theory, so you don't have to just accept that they had technology. You can actually have something to base it on, because otherwise you just have to accept that their race has developed the technology on their own.
I mean,
They developed it, but yet somehow for whatever reason still live like a barbarian life. You know what I mean?
but that's not that difficult to think about, right? Like, because I mean, there is elements of civilization with us, but there are still people that are incredibly barbaric and do terrible things. So it's not that far. It's not that much to stretch.
I mean,
So-
just to go for like um, current media examples, right? And it would be essentially in like in the Marvel universe where nobody knew that Wakanda was a thing.
Well,
So it's like, oh, you have Africa, what people think of like, African tribes, and all of a sudden you see these African tribes that have like this technology. It's like, holy crap, where'd they get this technology from? And nobody knows, like, oh yeah, Wakanda has all this shit. So yeah, I mean, it can be done, but the Predators, yeah, they're like straight up barbaric
So
savages.
the space jockey is an engineer, right? And the engineers
No,
are, I'm pretty sure they're the same.
they're not. So you got to remember, Joe, in Alien, they walk on a space jockey.
They
And
walk on the
whole,
ship.
No, they're walking on the chest of a space jockey. He's got a huge hole in his chest. They're standing on his chest, looking at him.
I argue and think that that's an engineer.
Yeah, I agree. I actually do think that's an engineer.
I think the
It's not.
space jockey petrified that was on that ship was an engineer in suit, because you later see that in Nostromo.
Yeah, but
Or
look
not-
how big they
not-
are in Prometheus. But look how big
Or
they are in
Prometheus,
Prometheus.
yeah.
They're like 2 feet taller than the human actors who are there, right? All the humans, they're like 2 feet taller. These things, the space jockeys were massive, that they were walking on their bodies. So in the novels, the space jockeys are described as giant, purplish, elephant-esque beings that wear a suit, and their trunk goes down the front of their suit for breathing. That's what the novels describe the space jockeys as.
But
That's why they're so big.
But the space jockey, what you find on the ship is basically, it's like a fossilized.
Fossil, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a fossilized.
Doesn't make
space
it bigger
jockey.
though.
No, but what makes it bigger? It's wearing an exosuit. So
It's the same. If you look at the structure and the way it's set up, it's the same type of suit that the engineers are wearing when he wakes up and he's running around, and then he has the helmet, right? It's the
Yeah.
same suit setup, but it is like 5 times the size.
The
All right, so
just 'cause
LV
it's fossilized
Force
doesn't make it bigger.
26 jockey is a massive ancient engineer and biomechanical suit adapted for deep space navigation.
yeah. So to
Is
clarify,
what the
same, yeah.
definition is.
So,
yeah. So to clarify, from what I was just reading, the space jockey and the engineers are supposed to be the same, but here's how it went awry. Ridley Scott, when he created Alien, that was the species that he was talking about. And then the novels turned it into something else before he came back to the franchise. And when he came back to the franchise, he wanted to bring the space jockey back, but with everything that he was doing, it didn't make sense to have the engineers 5 times larger than they appeared in the film, because Ridley Scott said the first engineer is 5 times larger than the or the space jockey is 5 times larger than the engineer. And he's like, to have that on the screen trying to do everything wouldn't make sense. So he said he decided to just shrink it. And when people asked him, he decided to say it was just a derivative of the species, right? So this one engineer is ridiculously big, and this other one is just slightly larger than the human being. But he wanted them to be the same thing, and he was frustrated the novels had talked about it being something else, and he didn't know. Apparently, and I don't know how you would know. You'd think that you'd pay people to tell you this, but apparently he didn't know that the novels had gone into what the space jockey was supposed to be until after he filmed the movie and released it, and people started asking him questions. He's like, "Oh, well, that's not what it was supposed to be," and they said, "Well, that's what the novels said," and that's where the confusion comes from.
Yeah, that's why I said in the EU, in the extended universe, that's what these things are. Because these things, they're massive. The space jockeys they're, like I said, they're described as giant purplish elephants, humanoid elephants.
But that's
Grimace,
Dr. L.
That's just
I don't know.
that's just an example of how dumb movie studios are, right? You think that you would have somebody who had read all of the material to tell you, hey, this is what's going on over the past 30 years when you have not been involved with the franchise.
Well, to be fair, in Ridley Scott's defense, in the studio's defense, when you see how many novels there are, it seemed like they were just like allowing anybody to write whatever they wanted. As long as it was Alien or Predator related, they just kind of let them go with it. As long as, like, you know, because if you look at the novels, there's like a crap load of different authors of the novel. That's why it's the extended universe gets very muddy. Like, but it gets deep. It's crazy. But so yeah, the aliens though,
and the Zerg.
So what now?
Joe got it. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
But yeah, so Predators and aliens have been, you know, in an entanglement for a long time.
They're Jada Pinkett Smith.
Whether it comes from time travel or not, that's a whole different beast. It's never been fully confirmed one way or the other.
I could see the time travel piece of it, and only because how much they're present relevant for the alien timeline. So I mean, I could see that being a thing where they travel back and forth and what have you. And maybe it's from that technology that they have, right? Maybe they're trying to go back and they send back
Skynet. Trying to stop Skynet.
No, I was gonna say what if it's one of those things, because like you guys were mentioning about, and I agree. I don't know enough about Predator to say anything, but I do know that they're not, like you said, they're not all adults, right? They're up and comings. They're whatever you like, training to be elite killers or what have you. And so maybe as they get sent back in time, so like you said, on the ship, he's got the skull of the T-Rex and so on and so forth. They get sent back in time. The younger they are, because there's less, like you said, there's less for them to worry about, and it's just about hunting whatever item they were told to hunt. So like back in dinosaur time, right? Just kill, T-Rexes. That's all you got to do is kill T-Rexes. So it probably would have been easier for them to get around. Nobody's shooting at them. They just have
the easiest hunt ever. You stand at the ship that's hovering in the air and you just laser cannon that bitch and he's done. And then you go back to the future. And Chris is going to be like, oh, they wouldn't do that. They absolutely be doing that.
But think about that, right? So as you move along, and then they come into the time of humans, and they're like, okay, well, they could fight early humans and it would not be a thing. Even humans up until 1950, 60, whatever, they could still kill those humans a lot easier than later. Now you get into special forces. You've got people who are trained to hunt and kill anything in the forest, doesn't matter what it is. They don't know what they're hunting. They just know they're hunting something. And then they get, they drop one down and they say, okay, this is task force that's here. The predators probably don't call them that, but there's this group of very hostile and lethal humans. And you have to survive and kill these humans. And what do you call it? Dominate and take over this forest or jungle, or whatever the hell it is.
Tony, have you never seen Predators?
I don't think so.
So Predators has Adrian Brody as like the main protagonist. But that idea there is that these different predators than we've ever seen before at the time, they're called the super predators. They're fucking bigger than the predators that we know up until that point. But they take people from Earth. So you get like somebody from Special Forces, somebody from the Yakuza, the Mexican fucking
cartels,
mafia, like all these fucking like these high-end threats and killers. They take them from Earth and put them on a planet, and then they hunt each of them individually. So they take like the Earth's best killers and put them on a planet and then hunt them.
See, that doesn't make any sense, because if you take him and put him on a planet, it's like, oh, I'm a Yakuza, I want to have guns. How's he gonna like defend himself against a predator? He's got two pistols.
He's got a sword. He's got a sword.
He actually handled business pretty well.
Yeah, he handled.
So predators. So the predator is known to match force, right? So if you have guns, he'll use his cannons, right? Because it's a gun versus gun. If you don't have guns, like when Arnold dropped the gun, the predator dropped his shoulder cannon. He's like, yo, we're gonna go hand to hand. Let's go hand to hand. I'll drop my weapon, you dropped your weapons. So in Predators,
his pants were still on.
Tony, no.
Come on.
Are we gonna talk about predator hogs now? Is that what we're doing?
My man was still packing.
So in,
all right, I'm good. Go ahead.
In Predators, the Yakuza had a sword. So the predator the predator that took him on, it was the Falconer. He had one long ass blade on his arm, like a sword. So he went sword to sword with the Yakuza.
That's pretty cool.
So this was a good fight. I mean, it lasted all of 10 seconds, but it was a good fight. I mean,
that's really all that lasts anymore.
I thought it was fairly matched.
This is we're sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say my impression of the trophy room that was introduced in Predator 2. You guys feel like it's time travel. To me, I feel like it's a trophy from a different planet. Each trophy is a different planet. I don't think necessarily like it's a T-Rex. Like I think it's whatever alpha beast from that planet that skull was harvested at.
I mean, it definitely could be.
To be honest,
it definitely could be that this planet has aliens that are just like dinosaur-esque. Could definitely be a thing.
I always took it as fan service. Like I never took the trophy room seriously. I always just thought it was fan service.
Well, most movies it is fan service, but then the fans see it and then they build. You know what I mean? That's where the headcanon comes in and the world building comes, right? I personally always took it as that it's obviously it wasn't the City Hunters trophy room.
Yeah.
It's the tribe, right? It's the ship's trophy room. So the elder predator there, who would essentially be the ultimate badass of that ship, it was most likely like most of his trophies, and it might not be time travel, but he might just be old as fuck because he's got gray dreads and shit. Like he could be thousands of year old because they travel light speed to another universe. Their aging could very well be different.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what I always think of.
I always just assumed it was fan service because, and this is going to get into the argument that Chris and I have. I love this argument that Chris and I have, but it's like I thought it was fan service because it was the alien skull was there and a Jabba the Hutt skull was there, and Chris is constantly talking about how honorable the predators are. It's like there's no honor in killing Jabba the Hutt. What is he going to do? Slither away from you? Like It never made any sense to me. But I love this argument because Chris is always like, no, the Predators are honor and they follow like a code of honor. They don't follow code of honor shit. They get their ass whipped and they blow themselves up. Like, there's no code of honor there. Like, oh, I lost. Well, screw you too. I'm blowing everything up. There's no honor in that.
I think we had
There's
this
absolutely
conversation. I think
honor
we
in
had
that.
this conversation too, and yeah, like I'm on Chris's side for this.
I
Like,
didn't
only
know.
reason-
it's not about like, oh, lol, like I lost. Now I'm gonna try and kill you too.
It
No,
is 100% that.
No, the purpose is because they don't want anybody having their technology. That's well established.
Oh,
canon.
the technology that they were given. So it's not even their
Okay.
technology. That argument doesn't
Woo,
make
bitch.
sense.
They don't want, and you can see this in plenty of other movies. And aliens don't think that Earthlings can handle the technology. They don't want people
technology they
having
were given.
the technology. So, like when the Predator blows in Predator 1, when it blows up, it's that huge explosion isn't just from his wrist. It's his ship as well blowing up. That's why it's so massive, which is why Arnold is like faster than Usain Bolt, being able to outrun that explosion, right? Like it decimated like 2 mile like radius of that forest, and Arnold just ran and jumped and got away from it.
So, I kind of want to backtrack because now I think the theory of time travel is bullshit because Psycho's talking about the hut skeleton or whatever, right? Which I don't know what a skeleton from Jabba the Hutt would look like. Well, it wouldn't be
No,
Jabba.
it
It would just be a hut, right? So
It would be his skull, yeah.
Yeah.
if that's the case, then now you're saying Star Wars universe is tied in there somewhere. And then I'd go back to Joe's point, which is that everything is just a trophy from worlds or civilizations that they've hunted. It
Well, 'cause
doesn't
we all
mean
can
time
agree.
travel to do it.
We can all agree that Star Wars takes in place in modern time, right?
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, so did Spaceballs, and they didn't have that shit.
They had the shorts.
They had Pizza the Hut.
Yeah,
Just
but the
saying.
skeleton would have been a crust.
I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Shivel
So-
pepperoni.
So I can't. I'm waiting. I had the comics for Wolverine versus Predator. Apparently, the Predator sees Wolverine. He's like, "Ooh, you have a nice shiny skull. I want that." So he goes after Wolverine for a nice metal skull.
Yeah, he can never take out Wolverine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did that work for the Predator?
That's
I haven't
not
read it
humanly
yet.
possible.
Well, as we know, amongst any time the Predator's put up against any superhero, the Predator's gonna lose because he's a species versus a entity, right?
But didn't you
He's
say he
gonna-
fought Batman?
Well, he kicked
Yeah.
Batman's ass in the first episode
But he didn't.
and a
But he
half.
didn't win though,
He didn't win. Well,
because they're not gonna let the Predator decapitate Batman and take his head as a skull. They're not gonna allow that to happen in the comic
should have,
book.
depending on who was playing Bruce Wayne at the time.
I mean, we got to watch, Joker get taken and killed by an alien. We got to watch that.
No.
So let me ask you guys something, and you guys will know better than I will because I have no fucking clue. So that will make you know better than I would. All of the different renditions for the Alien and the Predators, right? So obviously there's a comic series.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's multiple comic series. So you have like, oh God, you have bull aliens and you have ramming aliens and you have like dog aliens and you have like all these crazy renditions of aliens and predators. How come none of that was in the show and just regular xenomorphs and regular predators?
So that it started. The toys came out at the same time as
Alien
I think they
3.
came out the year after Alien 3, or like right around the same time as Alien 3. And Alien 3 is the first time you see an alien come out of a dog, and then he's running on all four like a dog. So it's the first time they've hinted at aliens taking on the DNA attributes and stylizing of its host. Everything else we've seen before was just a humanoid because they only came out of humans.
So
Well, once Alien,
I don't remember
3
that very
came-
well.
Hmm?
I don't remember that part. I'm gonna cut you off for a second. I don't remember that part very well where the alien comes out of the dog and starts running. I remember coming out of the dog. I don't remember the running part. So to me, all I can vision right now is when I've seen a xenomorph run on all fours per se, right?
Right.
They run with their feet and run with the back hands really quick so they can catch up to whoever they're running after. Because you never see them run like a biped or whatever. You know what I mean? So I guess how would you think that means it's
So-
taken on the form of the dog? You're just associating because it came out of the dog?
I think
No, so
Ripley
what
makes
it
a
is-
comment in the third movie, right? She's like,
Yeah,
she
she
says,
comments on it.
yeah,
But like,
she's
so what you normally see in all the other movies, they're all humanoid, right? Like they'll stand up and they're all humanoid. When they're traveling, they're like in air ducts and shit, and they're like crawling on the walls, right?
Yeah.
So they're on all fours because they're crawling around the walls. But in Alien 3, when he comes out of the dog, it stands on all like it stands on all four like a baby dog. Like it stands up, it's got higher hind legs, lower front end. And then even in the movie, they used a greyhound in a suit to play the part of a
I
dog.
see it.
Like,
I see it now.
originally, right? And then didn't they like scrap that for like the really bad CGI?
Yeah. That was originally they were using the greyhound.
Yeah, and I've seen pictures. There's video and too of like behind the scenes of like
In the original
Greyhound.
story for that movie, it was actually supposed to come out of an ox. It wasn't supposed to come out of a dog at all. It was supposed
Yeah,
to come out of an ox, but still, they're on all fours. It would have been the same outcome.
And so the difference, Tony, is that the Alien in Alien 3 looks more sleek, and it is quadrupedal instead of bipedal. It has reddish brown skin, a smooth domed head with no rear spikes, and it has dog-like ears on the head. And so it absolutely does look like a dog, and it was made to represent that whatever the alien comes out of, it takes those characteristics. But before you guys move on, I need to issue a retraction. Apparently, there was no Jabba the Hutt skull.
Yeah, I don't remember
so
being a Jabba the Hutt.
I was wrong about that. But also, apparently, every one of the skulls that were in the trophy room were created by Stan Winston. And Stan Winston was interviewed, and he said none of them were real skulls. They weren't built off of real skulls. They were all animals that he created of what these like super predators might be on other worlds. So, because they asked him about, the T-Rex and everything, and he said none of them were a T-Rex skull. None of them were meant to look like that. It was all
looks like
different aliens on different worlds that the predator had hunted.
So it's just trophies.
that shit looks like
Yeah,
fucking.
just trophies.
We're all trophies.
It looks like a T-Rex though. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
That looks like a T-Rex.
It looks like
without
a T-Rex skull.
doubt.
I mean, it looks like a T-Rex with mandibles also.
Yeah.
Well, that's true too.
But
But yeah, no, like that's one of those things. Like that's where the head canon. Like in the movies, nothing's explained. It's all left up to your interpretation, right? Then eventually they'll ask somebody years later. They'll ask about it, and then they'll give oh, that's what it is. But it's like they've now had books and comics where they take on dinosaurs, right? Because of all those things. Like the EU just expands on that because there's no definitive information at first. So the EU kind of takes precedence because they did it first. Like nope, this is what we're doing now.
they say that the alien in Alien 3 is supposed to be called the Runner.
Yes, the runner. Yep.
And so, but they
Dogs
wanted it
run.
they wanted it to be more animalistic and be like faster and be considered more of a threat because of its speed. And that the alien in the first Alien movie, and then by extension the aliens in Aliens, were meant to be bipedal. They can drop down on all fours and run, but they're meant to walk on two legs and be bipedal, whereas the one in Alien 3 is meant to be on all fours. It does not stand up and walk around.
Yeah, because in Aliens, and the only time you see them on doing the fours, like when they're crawling on the walls and like they come onto the floor, like then they'll be on all four crawling on the walls, like Spider-Man.
Even
Besides
in
that, when they-
AVP, the first one, they were crawling out of holes in temples, and they were crawling on the floors and the ceilings and stuff. So,
Yeah, like I said, just the same way you like Spider-Man, he just crawls around. 'Cause
Like
he's-
a bug, because they're supposed to be
Spider-Man-
bugs.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like ants, yeah. But fucking with Aliens, because that
Yeah.
was one of the things that Tony really, because obviously all the actors that connect with Terminator, a lot of them are in Aliens. And-
Just James Cameron.
oh yeah, it's because of James Cameron, but a lot of them are also in Titanic, but we don't count Titanic as being connected. So like it just is what it is. But the Alien universe, there's just so much open-endedness to it that it lets the extended universe just like go in so many different directions. But one thing that until recently, the especially with Predator, is that you had like the comics because Tony was asked about like the different iterations. You had the comics, you had the novels, you had the video games. They were all different than the movies because the original movies you see the Predator as the bad guy. He's the monster. He's the killer. He's the hunter. But everything else, you're kind of always on the side of the Predator as the protagonist. The video games you play as a Predator, the comic books you follow the story of the Predators, the novels usually the same thing. Like you get a lot more character building of the Predators in those versus the movies, the original movies. It's just like they're the bad guys, they're the monsters. It was completely different worlds of Predator.
So the Kenner toys for Alien, right? Those were the first like Alien figures, weren't they?
On for Aliens.
Well, no, for whatever Kenner made the figures, whatever it was, those were the first
That's what it looks like.
figures that were released, weren't they?
No, so Kenner made I'm pretty sure it had to be Kenner, but there's an alien from 1979 for the first movie.
Okay.
There's an alien xenomorph. It's like 12 inches tall for the first movie. It came out in the 70s.
I don't think
That would
was
be the
Kenner.
first one.
Yeah, I think
I'm pretty sure it was Kenner then too,
You think
if
so?
I remember correctly.
The ones I remember growing up were the Kenner toys, which I'm
Yeah, because those
those are the
ones,
ones I had.
the ones that Jose knows, they're all of the like the gorilla alien, the mantis alien.
Yeah.
Because I had that whole collection at one point. So.
Yeah, those are from Aliens, but they came out like right at the same time as Alien 3, which is where the idea of the dog alien, and then they're like, oh, they started using these other animals to make all these different types of aliens. That's where like that whole thing originated. It was from Alien 3 though.
weren't they supposed to have an animated series?
That's what people say, and that was the speculated rumor for years because there's like stills. You could find stills online of an animated type series. What it turned out to be, got confirmation from the people I guess who were actually working on it. It was for cartoon or not cartoons. It was for commercials for the toy line. The animated stills that they found were for the actual commercials for the toys.
Gotcha. I just figured it was going to be part of that ridiculous stuff that we grew up with where there were movies that were not aimed at kids that were then turned into cartoon shows, right? Like RoboCop, Rambo. Like it absolutely would have made sense. Look, here's aliens. We're turning it into an animated show.
Right? No, it would have. And you know that is one thing when you look at that with aliens and like the idea for kids is I can't think of another toy line until you got into the 90s like that where they took a R-rated movie like Alien and made a toy for it in the 70s for kids. There weren't adult horror collectors back like there are now. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck did they make the original Alien for? Who was behind? What parents like? Oh, we're gonna go buy that for little Johnny for his 7th birthday. Who was doing that? But they're like, no, we're making this, and then here it came.
Oh man.
Can we take 2 seconds? I want to double back to the trophy thing still bothering me. So that thing that you guys are calling a T-Rex, I can think of 2 things. It was burning a hole in my brain as to what it looked like. And I have found 2 things which lead me to believe we have other crossovers, right?
I'm with it.
And they're modern. So let me show the first one.
Let's see which trophy room you found.
Yeah, whether it's the real one or whether it's like somebody's version of the real one.
No. The new in Badlands, there's a new trophy room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see the face of the kaiju?
Yep.
Mhm.
Tell me that's not it.
I mean, I could see it.
I mean, I'm not against it.
It's got mandibles, and they don't know where those things come from, other than they're like, oh, it comes from,
They come like
in
from
the
a
ocean.
different dimension in the movies, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
still an alien creature. So what if predators, hunted these things out when they're juveniles, when they're small?
At their planet where they live. Yep.
Right. And that's what they look like.
I mean,
The
that would
other-
make sense when you take into consideration the fucking the creature that the Bascus, whatever the hell it's called in Badlands that the Predator's going after, that thing might as well be a smaller kaiju. That thing was a fucking monster.
Yeah, it was.
So funny enough, here's something else I was thinking of. Hold on, let me show it. It was in my retina, my retina. It was in my fucking brain.
I recognize that shape somewhere.
I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where just like it burns a hole in your brain. So it's kind of like a little bit. See the way the jawline is?
The fuck is that?
That's from
Cloverfield.
That's the Clover monster. Yeah.
So, what picture or what trophy room are you looking at?
I just went online and I typed in Predator trophy room
Because
I saw the T-Rex looking thing with the mandibles.
Right, no, I'm saying for that head though, because I think because in Badlands they showed like their trophy room, and then there's one skull that people are trying to say is the alien from Independence Day.
Yeah, the Harvester alien.
Even though to me it's shaped a little differently, but people say it is. But then they're like, oh, it's either that or War of the Worlds.
I think the director confirmed that it was the Harvester alien. I think he outright
Did he?
said
Because
it.
He
to me
did.
it looks
Yeah.
a little wrongly shaped, but
is it wrongly shaped or is it? Because I mean, again, I haven't seen Badlands. I haven't looked up a picture. I'm trying to pull one up now, unless one of you has one.
Oh,
remember the alien, the way you see it, isn't actually the alien. The alien.
No. It's the skull is the alien inside the suit. That
The
alien.
exoskeleton. Yeah.
no,
Yes,
you guys are
actual-
totally right. I'm looking at two different. You guys are talking about Badlands. There's absolutely a T-Rex. There's no other way to say that. It's a fucking T-Rex.
On the Badlands one.
Yeah,
On the Badlands one. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I just typed in alien trophy, and the skull that comes up is what I was showing you with the mandibles and like the longer face. I'll try to find the picture I'm trying to show you guys.
That's
You're
Predator.
absolutely right. I'm
Predator.
Chris,
totally
can you pull up a picture? Like, does anybody have a picture of the Badlands trophy room? I've never seen it.
Yeah, I have it up now.
But yeah, John, the Harvester is the one that Will Smith punches for talking shit about his wife.
The
one
Kentucky
he-
Harvester.
Yeah, he punches the exoskeleton though, not the actual thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it puzzles. No, but
Joe got it.
I'm sorry, Data. When that shit opens up and all that happens, it's that alien inside the exo suit.
All right,
Yeah.
I have the screen up here. So this is
So right there in the middle is the one they're trying to say is a Harvester. To me, it looks a little wrongly shaped for the Harvester, but
Could be a stingray.
It looks a lot like the Harvester from Independence Day Resurgence, which is the second one, which sucks. The aliens in that film are shaped slightly different, and it does look like that. Because the one
I've never seen the second one.
the one in the first Independence Day movie was more rounded at the back, right? Like it was
more round the back, and the front came like a little more forward, like almost like it came around the front a little bit.
Yeah, the second movie, it's definitely different.
I think the
Could be a
Harvesters
placenta.
had different casts too, though. I think they had because they had the Queen, they had a Queen version, right? They probably had just different workers or different types of casts that we didn't see or we saw in some of the scenes.
So
Well,
is
you
that
have to
supposed to
assume
be
that they
a
also, as a
skull?
species, have different. Like all
Yeah,
humans are different, right? Like, you
Yeah,
have
I'm trying
assume they have
to bring it up.
structures.
Yeah, because it kind of looks like that's a Bigfoot skull to the left of the Harvester. Because it's got the Bigfoot look with the conical head.
I mean, I don't know
That's
about
the
y'all.
full T-Rex.
Anybody who saw Prey, was anybody else upset that you didn't in Prey get to see the Predator fight a Bigfoot? Because that's what I was waiting for.
I would have
That's-
liked to see more of the bear fight, right? Instead of just the Predator ripping the bear apart like that.
Fuck that
I
bear.
think the bear fight would have been awesome.
Anybody know why they have dreadlocks?
It's
Because
not hair.
different.
Are they all like Rastafarian, like killers, or
Essentially, no. It's like it's sensory. So it's not actually like hair. It like gives them information and sensory and of the environment and stuff. Because remember, they're very
anytime somebody's got
reptilian-like, so
dreadlocks, it's just because they're more knowledgeable?
Sure, let's go with that. That's why Che got dumber when he shaved his off. Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's the magical brownies.
It's pretty good, actually. It's a great explanation.
Rasta
But yeah,
brownies.
no, man. God damn it.
There's a lot of
Tony,
crazy.
what alien? I know you watch.
There's a lot of crazy with the timeline there, man. Like, I mean, with the timeline, but
Oh, it's insane.
you guys are pulling up all these theories. So, like, for me, right, I'm not well versed at all. And so when I'm hearing all these things you guys are spitting out, you're all pointing to that the Predator is almost way more highly evolved than maybe it's given credit for in the films and in its lore, I guess. Whereas they may hunt. Absolutely. They may hunt very primitively and effectively, right? Because that's what they're groomed for. They're groomed for war and predatory takeover and things like that. But that they also were given technology to go back and take over wherever they deem fit to take over, or not necessarily even take over. They're deemed to fit back and show their dominance, that we are available, we are here, we will hunt and we will kill you, even though we may not be present with you all the time. We want you to have the fear that we could always come back and take you over.
Maybe the hunt. Maybe they digress for the hunt. They simplify for the hunt, even though they have this technology. You know, they can blow up the Earth from space and not think twice, but they choose not to.
Yeah, but they like a challenge, because when it's a challenge and they win, they get the bragging rights of a trophy showing, hey, we beat them, right?
That's my thought, though. So if
even in the comics, you see them take on the Native Americans, you see them take on like medieval knights in some, like, there's in the comics, they've gone through all like parts of human history to where they've been around. Like, people are hoping that like the next the next Prey movie, like, people are hoping that it takes place in like World War II, have a Predator at fucking D-Day. Like,
so they would have to have time travel. So then just going to different planets to get your trophy is just not valid anymore, because they would have to have time travel, because if they are going back and they're fighting, like way back, they're however far. What did you just say? You said something about going far back, and you said they're fighting before World War II. What did you say before that? That's what sparked.
Oh, they're telling like knights.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. So if they're fighting, knights of the Round Table, like medieval times, things like that. Not in Orlando, but actually back in the day, if they're fighting in medieval times,
it'd be better for Orlando.
Thank you, Psycho. And then if they get to technology in the future, right, from the space jockey, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, then they would have to go back in time to be able to do all these things. So they don't live a long time necessarily. They're from the future, and so maybe they've conquered that world. They've not conquered, but they've shown their dominance. They show that they're an adversary to be, feared. Yeah, and we are the predators of this world. And as they do that, they keep going back in time.
But it might not even, like, it depends on what you're looking at, right? Because what if it's not time travel? But like I said, when they travel in the space, it runs differently. Because, like, figure back to fucking Flight of the Navigator. Was it time travel, or was it because he was on a spaceship in space, came back to Earth, and Earth aged, and he hadn't yet because he wasn't on that same rotation?
But he was.
Navigator, doesn't he say that they accidentally went through time, like the ship?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Flight of the Navigator, they traveled to the speed of light, and to Weeze's point, they traveled so fast that for them time was on a standstill. Earth progressed 10 years, whatever it was.
Right, so it's not like time travel like you think, like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Right, but it's time travel in the essence of, like, they're going so fast, time doesn't affect them.
Now,
well, then he would have time looped, because how did he go back?
The Navigator has time travel capability, because he mentioned that he didn't think the human was strong enough to go back in time. He thought they were too fragile and they wouldn't sustain time travel. So that's why he chose not to bring them back. But at the end, he basically said, "Hey, bring me back, because I'm I have nothing here.
I don't belong here. Yeah, I don't fit in. I can't have a life. Yeah."
So he originally traveled to the future by, like, the speed of light. It just didn't affect him, and then they introduced time travel to take him back home.
Correct. And he mentioned some of the creatures on the ship too are too fragile for time travel.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate the Flight of the Navigator? Like, that movie,
Such
It
a great
should
movie.
not be good, but it is, and I don't think anybody outside of our generation would even find any interest in it whatsoever.
Was nobody
Uh,
excited for the stack of vintage Transformers on that kid's bed when he got in that room?
Nobody but you.
Thank you. All right.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Tony was like, "Woo!"
Oh man,
I remember in the 80s jumping in
When
the
Sarah
car.
Jessica Parker walked in.
Jumping in the car and going to Alligator
You
Alley
should-
looking for like some of the spots, and I found a couple of the spots that they filmed. That was cool. You know?
That's pretty
oh,
cool.
that's awesome.
Back when they
I
used
know-
to actually film in Florida,
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds 2, Flight of the Navigator, like
Porkies.
yeah, and then True Lies, and then it kind of just fell down the cliff.
Oh,
I mean, we did get what, like 2 minutes of movie in Iron Man 3 here in Florida.
I mean, was Punisher filmed here?
Punisher
I
was
know it's
Tampa.
it's
In
supposed
Tampa,
to be
that's
here.
true.
I don't know if it's actually filmed here, but I know it's supposed to be Tampa. But
Wasn't part of
Yeah.
Deadpool one of those filmed here?
I didn't think so.
I thought like
I
the
feel like
third
they're
one of the
all out
movies.
the country for some reason. I feel like they're in Canada.
Punisher was absolutely in Tampa because I remember seeing the cast filming. I think it was like Ybor City, if I remember right.
I'm excited to see where Alien and Predator goes because it looks like they're kind of after years of taking missteps
Yeah.
when it comes to the movies. I feel like they're finally stepping in the right direction with both franchises. So I'm curious to see where it does go. And they just confirmed. Well, I shouldn't say confirmed. The internet has confirmed that they are in talks of doing Alien versus Predator 3.
Why?
Because they
Well,
have,
it's
they have
from
to
the
get it
first
right.
Movies are
It's from the same
terrible.
director of
There's a
Badlands.
resurgence in the franchise. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
gonna
the
happen.
Alien and Predator movies have been notoriously bad.
Okay, only
Well,
one
no,
of
but
them.
it's supposed
only
to
one of
be-
them was
So the
notorious.
Mortal Kombat movies, and they keep making them.
Have you
That's
seen the
true.
new Street Fighter
I
movie?
mean, the first Mortal
Sorry.
Kombat movie wasn't great, but for the time, it was decent. The
Yeah.
second one was absolutely terrible. And then when they started doing those shorts, what were they called, Jose? Like when you did the small vignettes, right? Like
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forgot what they were called.
it's like, oh damn! You guys know what I'm talking about. The first one was Baraka, and they tried to make it real world.
Yeah, actually, I liked most of them. Some of
It
them
was
were
like
bad.
a
I
web,
liked
it was like a,
most
it
of
was like a
those.
web series.
shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat Legacy. That's
Okay, yeah. But so it's like those weren't bad, but AVP was terrible. And then AVPR, as I said last week, I never saw because Chris told me don't watch it, so I didn't.
Well, you can't watch it because the whole thing is like pitch black. So it's like even if you wanted to watch it, you can't.
So
But
it's like the first Alien.
if I remember from the article, which might be fake, is that it's the same director who did Badlands. So if you've got
It's
somebody who has the
Trachtenberg,
passion,
Rattenberg, yeah.
if you have someone who has the passion of the franchise that understands it, I'm down for Alien versus Predator.
Yeah,
I
if
still
Trachtenberg
want-
does it, then I think it'll be a hit, and I think he'll do good at it because he's been proven just revising the story and giving a lot of the fans what they want with these movies lately.
Because
Well,
in
I think-
reality, Alien versus Predator, it shouldn't be on Earth, right? Like we don't need scientists on Earth or teenage kids on Earth going in this battle. What you need is just take the movie Aliens with all the Marines and throw Predators in the mix, and you've got a Alien versus Predator movie that could be amazing.
That's
I
the
think
one
it'd be
thing that's
awesome,
been
but I also think it'd
missing.
be overpowering.
That's fine.
What were
Yeah,
you saying, Jose?
No, I was gonna say that's one thing that's been missing. I mean, if you played like the classic Alien versus Predator games, like that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was the aliens, the predators, and the Marines from the Alien like era. So it's like, and I feel like that's the one thing that it's been kind of like missing, because
One
like
year. Well, I don't think you went with this. I think it was me and my brother, or my brother before Tony corrects me. My brother, my father, and I went to Halloween Horror Nights, and they had Alien versus Predator as one of the haunted houses, and it was Aliens because you walk through, you saw the scenes and sets were from Aliens, and they threw Predators in there around every corner, and it was amazing. It was better than every Alien versus Predator movie that had come out. It was amazing. It was just a fucking haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights. because they did it with it was Marines versus aliens versus predators. That's what
I would
people
like
want.
to see him go back to LV 426 and have a AVP movie there if that's something that is in their sights. Because I think
They
there's a
nuked it
lot
from
less.
space.
Yeah, I was
Did
just saying,
they-
like, what would they be fighting? There's no aliens there.
Did they nuke it? They nuked the whole planet? Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
But
I
it's
was
gone,
hoping
or
for,
just like they just nuked it.
They nuked it. Yeah.
They
Because that don't
nuked
mean
that
shit.
bitch.
You guys know an alien will like all of a sudden it's like, oh, it survived in the bowels of the planet or whatever.
It's
was
not
kinda right.
Godzilla in the center of Madison Square Garden, all right? Like,
I'm just
it's
saying.
not one egg that's surviving multiple bombs dropped on it.
But so when they started doing like the Prometheus movies, so they did Prometheus and then Covenant, I was excited where that was going, and it frustrates me that they never did that. They canceled the third one from that series because I didn't read, so I could be wrong as to their direction, but the way I was seeing it and what they were doing, to me, it looked like they were setting up for a hive war, right? That you're gonna have all of it because it ended with what's his name? David was his fucking name.
David.
Yeah, the guy that plays
Fassberger.
Magneto. Yeah.
Fast, yeah, him. So you had him with this ship full of people sleeping, and he had his aliens that he created, his versions that he created. So I'm like, he's gonna have an army of aliens, and then they're gonna like land on a planet that has actual aliens. And you're gonna see this like hive war of aliens. Because in the comics and in the novels, there are hive wars that happen, and a lot of them are human, human created xenomorphs versus real xenomorphs, and like all hell breaks loose. And that's where I thought they were heading. I'm like, this is going to be amazing, and then they canceled the third because they're bastards. Ugh. Tony, did you have any other concerns about aliens?
I don't know that I should. The conversation tells me not to say anything.
Go for it.
I'm not gonna lie. Half the time I've been focusing, and I was trying to figure out if some Cuban guy was wearing a Little Caesar shirt, but then I realized he wasn't.
No, it's a Bowser shirt.
Just from the top, I just saw his
Little Caesar shirt.
I mean, I can see it now, but I figured it out after a while. But at first, I was like, "Is he wearing a Little Caesar shirt?"
Little Caesar's orange, though, isn't it?
I guess, but it'd been pretty funny if he was wearing a Little Caesar shirt, though.
I mean, I would have cheered him on. Yeah. So no, I guess I wish I could remember. Like, and again, I need to start writing this stuff down because I had a lot of what I felt was pretty profound questions between Alien and Predator, just because of. Well, it started out with Terminator. So watching Terminator, and all the same people were in Alien, right? And then noticing that some of those people spilled over into Predator, and then started asking questions about how Predator and Alien might have been in the same timeline. Or not Predator, Alien, I'm sorry.
Terminator.
Terminator, yeah. Predator, Terminator, or Alien, Terminator, one of the two, would have been in the same timeline. And really, who's to say that during Terminator, during Skynet days, right, where Skynet's got shit going on, who's to say that Alien aren't existing in the atmosphere watching this shit go on? But they're just bugs. So I guess who's to say Predator, I guess, is not out there just watching this go on?
Could be.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean,
Would you think that
That's
Predator?
watching all hell break loose?
Then you would imagine the Predator would come down and hunt the
Terminator.
Terminators.
Yes, I was just gonna say.
It would be an interesting fight. Like, here you have these machines that have taken over sentient beings, and so that seems like something the Predator would be interested in fighting.
Would John
I
Connor
would
be the higher trophy then, because he defeats the Terminators, and the Predator would want John Connor as the trophy?
But he doesn't do it himself.
He
It's
doesn't.
more like everything else going on around him.
He leads the resistance.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work because Skynet's not like a machine. Skynet's just a brain. So how would that work in regards to there's no ultimate thing defending Skynet, right?
No, I mean, it's the HKs, right? The hunter killers. It's the ships.
I'm saying, but it's not like. Did you see the animated Terminator?
No.
It was great. If you didn't watch it, it's awesome. So it's they try to paint. Has anybody seen it?
Yeah.
You saw it. Okay, so you saw it. So they try to paint Skynet into this. Oh,
versus the Terminator.
is it a fucking
they've
comic
done it.
book?
Yeah, they've got one of them versus RoboCop also.
Mhm.
Predator and Alien
Yeah,
fought.
RoboCop
like,
would die in a second versus
that
anything.
just doesn't seem interesting. Versus RoboCop, like it doesn't seem like it would even be worth reading.
He got beat by punks. I don't want to see him get chewed to death by something else.
Like, RoboCop was slow as hell. What's he gonna do?
He was slow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Eat that baby food shit and complain about that he's not a man. So in the fucking animated one, they actually had this entity that the creator of Skynet, it's not Miles Dyson, they call him something else, I forget. But he's the creator of this virtual being that ultimately, it wasn't even called Skynet, was it, Joe? Wasn't it called something else in it?
I'm trying to remember. I feel like it was something different.
We'll just call it Skynet for sake
Yeah.
of simplicity, right?
We're
So
talking
he
about
creates-
Zero, right? Terminator Zero.
Yeah, it was pretty graphic. It was pretty
Yeah,
good. I liked it.
Yep.
So they create this entity, and that entity is what turns around and shuts down the world. It turns on him. It even talks to him like a person and says, I would never betray you. And then it's exactly what it does. It betrays the creator.
Always.
Yeah, and then releases its entity out to control all of the machines. And so it would have to be something like that the Predators could take down. They'd have to go in and override and destroy this digital entity, but they would have to be smart enough to do that.
I mean,
Did I
who says
lose?
they're not?
Did I lose everyone? What happened?
No. I mean, who says they're not?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, in terms of if they are part of the universe for Terminator in the future, and they've just not made themselves known. And like to John's point, I would say the same thing. They would look at the Terminators and say, this is a race that took out the humans, right? And we fought the humans. And so these things must be really strong. And so our best Predators should go down and try to train to take these out. But they would just be fighting,
Robots.
the fucking exoskeletons or whatever.
And at that point, so when you run into start doing that, then it starts becoming, would Predator tech be effective against the Skynet tech, right? Because like we said, the Predator or Terminators, they use what? Bullets, don't they? They don't use lasers.
Well, I mean, there are laser weapons in the future. So
In the future, but like
their ships are equipped with laser cannons. Some of the Predators on the battlefield in the future are equipped with laser cannons.
Terminators.
Yeah.
The only reason they don't use laser guns in the past is because nothing metal will travel, right? So they have to be covered with skin. But in the future, they absolutely are using laser weapons. Gotcha.
Because like the Predators, you figure they have plasma casters. Like, you think, will that just like destroy a T-800 in like one shot? Like, would it just blast a hole through one? Like,
okay,
like
so
a lot of
so take those out of the mix. What if it runs into a T-1000 because they exist?
Yeah, just like decimates him one shot, then he's comes back together.
Well, and do you find it odd that there's no T-1000s shown whenever they show? And I think it's for cinematic value, right? Just because it's creepier to see a bunch of T-800s walking. So don't you find it odd that they don't, when they show the future, they only ever show the hunter killer things? What's the one that rolls along? The one that flies is the hunter killer, right?
Yes.
What's the one that rolls along the ground?
T-100.
Is it a T-100?
Yeah, I think T-100.
Yeah, I think it is the T-100. That's what sticks in my brain.
Yeah, the tank tread thing that looks like Ed 209 or whatever.
It's got a torso on the front, on the top, on treadmill, on tracks.
So then, it's creepier to show a metal skeleton walking along shooting people But where
versus
the hell are the
just,
T1000s? Why aren't there a bunch of those walking behind them?
There's liquid puddles in the back.
Right. There's that water you see, it's just them on the
It's
ground.
just them.
blue spots, whatever.
I just find it odd. And they never show an original form of the T1000. They just show that it's liquid metal and it's whatever person they sent back.
Did
you ever notice that?
They show it
Wait.
like transform, but like there's a middle state in between transformation.
But there should be a base state, right? Just like a T800 where it's the skeleton.
So what you're saying is like the same way like Mystique has like her blue form, like that's what she normally is, but she changes into whoever she wants. There's got to be like a normal form of a T1000.
You would think.
You would think.
All right. Well, I mean, for all intents and purposes, the base form of the T1000 henceforward shall be known as Odo in his bucket.
Odo?
Odo from Deep Space Nine, when he
rests, Jesus Christ,
he turns into like just a gelatinous mess, but he puts it in a bucket so it holds him together.
I can't believe you just said Deep Space Nine.
That's such a great movie.
That is the best Star Trek show. What are you even talking about?
You're not wrong. I'm not taking that away from you. I'm just listen. The only reason I know anything about Star Trek series is because I watched them with my brother. God bless him. I couldn't stand it, but I watched them. Oh my god, I just can't believe you said Odo.
So there's like 3 seconds where the Terminator T1000 walks out of the flames and he looks like Silver Surfer. So that might be his true form or his.
That's possible.
Not to mention when he first arrives at the planet, he copies the police officer he kills. He doesn't already have a form.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, just like that, like Silver Surfer.
That's a good call. Okay, I don't remember that. And I just watched the movie the other day.
Yeah, he like Joe said, he absolutely looks just like Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. But so Tony, something else you had asked the other day.
Because they don't show him. I'm sorry, hold on, Chris. Don't go anywhere. Because they don't show him. Because when the T1000 gets to the planet, it's not an Arnold or a Reese thing where they show them crouching on the ground. It's just the lightning storm. And then he's walking over towards the cop and takes the cop out.
Yes.
That's why. Because he doesn't arrive in a human form.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a human form until he kills the police officer. He's just humanoid.
Right. Okay.
So there's no features or anything.
Wheeze, go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, so something else you had mentioned the other day, and because we were with Alien 3, was how they fucking killed everybody from Alien 2, from Alien.
Yes.
And you were asking about like how did that happen? And I was like, it's all off screen. The only
so Newt
one
when they land on the planet, they land and like Ripley's look alive, and she actually
knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. Well, doesn't she wake up in a bed? She doesn't wake up in the tube.
Yep.
Yeah. So because they got her out of the wreckage.
Yeah, there was a fire, and they pulled him out of the fire.
So then, she finds Bishop.
She finds trash.
Yeah, he's in the trash, and she like plugs him in. I love the part where he's like, it's like blood, but it's not blood, and he's like bleeding at the mouth, like talking to her. He's like a shell of a man. He never was a man, but and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, tell me what happened, and puts all the stuff on the screen, and she goes, was there an alien or whatever? And he's like, yes. And Newt's chamber has, if I remember, and I remember what we're talking about, has a burst where her chest would have been in the tube. Is that not right?
I think.
Or it has the face hugger burn on the.
It had the burn. Her tube had the burn,
but she dies from drowning.
Yeah, she dies from drowning. Yeah.
Right. She didn't suffer from the face hugger, but it did try to go for her, right?
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
So what happened to Hicks and the other guys?
Well, the only other one was Hicks, right? It was only Hicks, Newt, and then Bishop.
So what happened to Hicks?
It was he died during the crash that also happened during the fire crash that caused the ship to go off course that they found. The only person's tube that survived was Ripley's. That's why she was still alive. But she also is the one who had the face hugger in her. So. Which that's never really explained.
Isn't it weird how long that went? Like any other, maybe it's just a timeline the way it worked, but any other time somebody gets a face hugger in them or gets a impregnated or whatever you want to call it by a fucking alien, they're like almost like 20 minutes later, it's like, I don't feel so good, and it fucking shoots out. She goes the whole
Every
damn
movie
movie.
gets
She's like,
faster.
everything's fine. It's just intestinal gas. And
But
then he
it's
gets to the end, and
But it's a queen alien, and so the gestation must be longer.
Well, what's
I'll
the
let you get that one
timeline
out.
on the third movie? I mean, it takes place.
Well,
in a
also
little
she
over
was
a
in
day.
because you got to remember. So the idea, or in theory, right? Like I said, Newt's has like the hole in it. So either the face hugger was inside the tube with Ripley when she went to sleep, or she was infected before she got in the tube. And if she
but
was
how would that have
infected
happened?
before-
She would have known it happened.
Well,
right? You never see that, right? That's the thing, because for her to be alive, or for her to still be asleep, to be found, she was still in the cryo state, so it didn't fuck with her tube to where it broke open to where she woke up from it and she would have died from old age. It's like she was frozen, right? That's why it never came out, because she was frozen in time while they're put to sleep in the cryo state.
so
That's why it never came out.
according to what Google says, it
Oh,
says
God
that,
damn it.
yeah, it says that
Google.
that Newt died from drowning,
Yep.
but the face hugger was already on her and had impregnated her because the face hugger got on the ship, and then it was able to get into her cryopod and impregnate her, and then she died and drowned. She died by drowning, and the face hugger had already impregnated her. The chest burster came out, and then that's what ended up impregnating Ripley.
That's not
And
how
that's
things
that's
work,
how that
though.
happened.
And you hear the eggs opening up at the end of Aliens post credits.
Yeah, but that's not how it works. Like an alien, a chest burster doesn't come out and then impregnate somebody.
Are you a
The face hugger
doctor?
impregnates. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's
But I mean,
right.
yeah,
Those
like,
are like so.
there
There's
would've
been
had to be
fan
an egg or
theories.
something there. Yeah.
There's been fan theories, and I believe one of the comics they touch on it to try and like clean up the whole death and what happened between the two movies. But she drowned because if that's the case, there should have been an alien on the ship, right? There should have been not a face hugger, not a chest burster. There should have been a goddamn alien on that ship when they cracked that bitch open. If it came out of Newt, you know what I mean?
So, does anybody like the whole thought of a face hugger just completely freak the shit out of you?
Yes.
Because this thing latches onto your face, and its whole
And
thing is
rapes your
to
face.
right. Its whole thing is to like
Yeah.
impregnate the person, right? Your host.
Right in your chest, yeah.
So, and you're not dead afterwards.
Not yet.
It just does its deal and then runs away from you.
And dies.
So, this
It's
thing
a
is
one and done.
latched onto your face. You can't get it off, and it's basically like, "Wah, wah, wah," and then it runs away. So you got deep throated,
Yeah.
and then you had
Not
a
in a good
chest
way.
burster.
Yeah.
Definitely not in a good
What?
way.
Yeah. And you're done.
So, Jose, you've been quiet for a while. What do you think about all this?
Was it the deep throating? Is that what got you?
Sorry, what? I'm sorry.
Good
what?
job, Jose.
I
So,
said
thanks for
you've
being
been quiet for a while. What do you think about all this?
He's playing Sonic.
No, I'm not. I'm just doing work right now, so I was letting you guys talk.
But yeah,
I don't have
the,
any thoughts, so no.
But yeah,
I
so
have plenty of thoughts. I want to know what this face hugger thing looks like now.
it looks like a giant dick, is what it looks like. But that's what you really want to know, Tony.
It's a face hugger.
See, that's what you weren't aware of. But in
It's more like a
Terminator,
face
it's really
hugger.
a face hugger hugging around Arnold's waist.
Yeah, they went back. They went back to Terminator 1 and found what was left of Arnie, and they started mass producing the face huggers.
Oh,
Just for you,
shit.
Tony.
That's fucking
But yeah,
great.
so, but that's the one thing that like, because like in Aliens,
Sorry.
in Aliens, you had Burke trying to get Ripley impregnated by an alien, right? That was like his whole thing, to bring back a specimen. So that's why he trapped Newt and Ripley in the one office, in the medical office, to try and get them to be hosts. That was his whole thing. But at some point, Ripley gets impregnated by a face hugger. You never see it because, like I said, if it was on the ship during between the movies, then her pod would have either been broken and she would have woken up or died from old age because she would no longer be in the cryo state, or it was done beforehand, and then when she froze in the cryo state, it just stopped the production of the alien until she came out of it, and then as her body slowly thawed, it would eventually caught back up.
So they never tell you.
No.
You never get a full clarification
Yeah.
how she actually gets it.
So the only way it could have happened, because had it happened while she was just being Ripley, right? She would have said something like, "Oh, I got caught by a face hug or whatever," but that's not the case. So it
Most
would have
people
had
don't
to have
know.
been what?
No, they say it in the third. They know.
No, but
Um,
like you never see it. You never see how she gets it, right?
Well, how did it
Never
happen?
see it.
How did they tell you what happened in the third?
because she's got the android on the table, and he's confirming there was 3 eggs on the board, and this is what happened. And then she did the X-ray when she started having a feeling that something wasn't right. And aliens all about preservation, right? So maybe the gestation was longer, A, because it was a queen, but B, because of self-preservation, it wanted to make sure it was a safe enough environment before
But
it
how
was
did they
born.
get inside her? They don't.
That's what. Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, that's
and
what Joe was saying. That he says that there were 3 eggs on board that they didn't know about, and that they happened. And the part for me that doesn't make sense. How the hell did the eggs get on board?
bird.
Because the ship wasn't there,
Oh yeah.
and the queen Ripley destroys her egg sac, right? Like, and then the queen detaches from it. So where the hell did the eggs come from?
Well, there's an
Like-
alien chicken.
It makes absolutely no sense that would have happened, because there's no in story or in canon explanation for it that makes sense. They show you how
Right,
the
'cause
queen
like I
has to
said-
lay the eggs.
because if I remember correctly, between those two movies is a couple hundred years between those two movies.
Yeah,
So, but to your point, Chris, there would have had to have been a face hugger in her tube already.
it would have been in the tube, right? Because or else it would have had to break into her tube, and she would have died
Yes.
of old age. Like,
or
so
she would have already
would-
had to be impregnated beforehand, like you said.
But
Right.
but how that would have come up? She would have known it happened at some point.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody who gets hit with those things, they don't like they don't necessarily like remember like, oh my god, I had to like. It's weird. It's like they
Well, that's
kind
an
of
assumption.
they don't completely forget, but they're not like, oh my god, you know, like.
I got
But that
fucked
was
by a
kinda
face
weird.
hugger.
Well, yeah, because like I guess the only person you really see after getting a face hugger is Kane,
Jesus.
right?
Oh.
In the first Alien movie, Kane, they didn't know what happened to him. So he doesn't sit there and like talk about like, oh, that thing was on my face. Like he never really brings it up. They just go eat dinner, and then eventually the fucking thing pops out of it and scares the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, like at the diner when it just started dancing across the fucking screen.
That wasn't the
Yeah.
same movie, damn it.
It is now.
No, it's not.
But then like in other movies, it's such a fast thing. Like it comes off, and then like within the next scene, all of a sudden it's coming out of him. So you never really get to know if the people remember it happening or not, or if it's just like a foggy dream for them. You know what I mean? Like it's never explained if you really remember all the details of having your face raped by an alien. Like, it's
There's also
never-
just never like a clear like timeline of like when it happens. Like how
'Cause it-
long does the gestation happen like in the chest? Because like you
'Cause if
said,
I-
sometimes it takes like minutes, and then other times it could take like days or weeks.
so
So like in,
they
like, in the
tried
case
to
of Ripley, it took
explain
like
it-
weeks.
they tried to explain it in Alien versus Predator. So when you had like the first Alien movie,
Seems like the wrong time.
if I remember correctly, in the first Alien movie, he was out like
All
possibly-
day.
no,
Or a
possibly
couple
like
days.
24 hours before
Yeah.
he awoken, and then that happened.
Yeah.
But in Alien versus Predator, it's like they jump on your face, and within like 10 minutes they pop out. But they also
Yeah.
tried to say in Alien versus Predator that the predators were purposely like putting like some type of hormone in the aliens to cause them to have a faster life cycle for training purposes, so they can have the hunts while they're there instead of having to wait days and days and days for aliens to form.
The
Like, they
timeline
were
in Alien
purposely
3
doing
was
it.
24 hours, right around 24 hours. It was one full day from start to end of the movie.
So that would be kind of in line with the first Alien movie then. But Aliens, it's faster. Because you had people who got taken down to the hive, they found them, and then there shit popping out of them.
Mhm.
Well,
No,
yeah, so
I don't
they
think
should
it
have killed the
happened that
fucking
quick in
characters, though.
Aliens
Fucking
because
directors.
didn't the colonists get taken like days before, and then they go down into the hive where the people are stuck on the wall, and some of them are alive, but nothing had burst out yet?
Some of them, yes.
But weren't they feeding on them? Wasn't that the whole thing?
No, they were
No, they were
keeping
using them
there
as
to impregnate
hosts.
them. Yeah, they don't
You never
eat them.
see aliens eat.
Yeah, they don't eat like people.
Yeah, so alien, they grab you, pull you under, they go and they stick you to a wall near eggs, and the eggs jump, the face hugger jumps in your face, and then eventually a chest burster comes out of you.
The theory is
Literally,
that they're like
their only purpose is to continue the survival of their species and
yes.
spread their species.
The theory is that they're such elite killers that they evolved past the function of needing to like eat.
So that's weird because when you watch the show, which I could not get through, like I think I watched like 5 episodes and I'm like, this is dumb. All they do is kill the aliens. I mean, the scenes were cool, but all they're doing is killing everybody.
Yeah, because that's their prime motivation is just to kill for the survival of their species.
But like to all you
So
guys,
anything they see, like any other species, is a threat to them.
but everything you guys are saying is like they should have taken all these people and made,
Not if
breeding
they didn't
rooms
have,
for
not if
face
they didn't
huggers.
have a queen, because who's
They don't
laying
have a
eggs?
hive.
Yeah, if there's
They need
no
a hive
hive,
with a
all they
queen
do is
making
kill.
eggs.
So why wouldn't they start a hive?
Well, because
So
you can't
that's
start a
another
hive with a
thing,
queen.
okay? Hold on. That's a different thing. In the movies, you have
When a man and a woman love each other,
They don't have to love each other.
so in the movies you have like in the first movie it's Big Chap. He's basically a drone, right? If you look in the world of like ants, he's a drone. Then you have aliens, they're more of like an army ant.
Workers,
They're the hunters,
army
the
ants.
warriors. They do their thing. And then in Alien 3 is where you're introduced to the idea that the queen alien can be born, and they don't show it in the cutout scenes and in the exclusives. They actually show a queen face hugger. It looks different than a normal face hugger. It's bigger. It has like the same type of head piece as the queen alien, but it's on a face hugger to show it's a queen face hugger. They never use it in the movie, but they had it made. But in the video games, they take on the idea of
ew,
hey, look at the queen face hugger.
yeah.
Yeah. So in the video games, they take on the idea that aliens are very much like ants, where you have a drone and then they can evolve into a queen. They can cocoon and become a queen to start a hive. The same way ants, if they lose their queens, one of their drones can turn into a queen and continue that way and build the hive again. That's introduced in the video games mainly.
And the alien in Alien 3 knew that Ripley had a queen in her because
That's why I
she had,
wouldn't kill her.
yeah, she had given up at one point and she was ready to. She's like, I don't care. Let me just go fight it and get it over with.
That about right?
And
Yeah, so it's got the bigger hands and yeah.
It's just much
And then the
bigger in
original art
size.
of it, it's got a huge fin thing on its back that resembles more of the queen. It's
the
I'd
royal
be like,
queen,
just kill me now. I'm out. I'm not gonna make it.
royal face.
It's just
hugger.
running after me. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
But then you get the idea that Ripley jumps into that vat of lava, holding the alien in her chest, so it doesn't get away, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna kill this thing, and then she gets cloned in Alien Resurrection, and she becomes half alien.
Yeah.
'Cause why
Which was a
not?
cool. I do like Alien 3, kind of how they introduced that. Like it was almost like it was really subtle foreshadowing, in my opinion, that every time the alien like would go to like it was gonna like kill her, but it just got really close to her face, and it was like, oh, you have an alien inside you, so I'm not gonna kill you.
Yeah, there's one scene where it goes to kill her and then he like zones down on her stomach and he backs off. And
Yep.
That's where he.
And that's why she checked, isn't it? Isn't that why she?
That's
checked?
one
If
of
I
the
remember
reasons why she checked.
She's
Yeah,
like,
because
hold on, why is he not killing me?
But
Yeah.
And I think
go ahead.
I think that's one of the reasons why they didn't use the face hugger, because they didn't want people to know that
Yeah.
she had the alien until
But
she
you
figures it
hear,
out.
yeah, you hear the face hugger as the ship's on fire in the beginning. You hear the egg crack open and aliens at the end post credits. So you put the pieces together that things are going on while they're on the ship.
Yeah, but you only piece those things together, right? Especially with the aliens, the egg cracking open. You piece those together later in life, right? I don't think anybody sat there in theaters when aliens came out and like, that's the sound. Like, you know what I mean? Because those movies were like what, 10 years apart,
Yeah.
like, like not maybe 8, 9 years
Was
apart,
it?
like for people to put those two together.
Was the post credit sound even in the original theatrical release? I thought they added
Probably
it
not.
afterwards.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I thought
I
it was
don't know.
added afterwards in an attempt to try to clarify what was going on.
That's a good question.
I would assume so, because like back then they didn't do a lot of like after credit stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are you sure the crackling you heard wasn't just like Rice Krispies or something?
It was just it's just like the sound is like coming to the end of the tape. It's just
The film. Yeah,
that's
film
just what
spinning.
you hear.
So, I have a little bit of like Mandela effect going on here because I swear that this scene,
Uh-huh.
did this not happen to her one other time in the Alien franchise where she had hair? Because she
Something
shaved her head in the
similar.
first one.
Alien
Yeah.
Resurrection.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Alien Resurrection, the fourth one, she has a similar scene, and they don't kill her because she is part alien. She's a queen alien.
So this never happened in 1 or 2.
no.
No.
And you can see the side of her hair is
Is it-
shaved, so it's definitely Alien 3.
No, I know this is Alien 3, but
I feel like in Aliens there was a similar scene. Thinking about it.
that's why I said like I got like a Mandela effect thing going in my head. But this is all that ends up coming up.
Because I think
Is-
I think you're thinking of two different scenes from Alien Resurrection. Because there's a scene in Alien Resurrection when they first introduce that they have aliens trapped and they're like trying to train them, right? And you see like the scientist goes right up to the window and the alien comes right to the window also and opens up his mouth and like he wants to attack, but there's a wind, like he's trapped.
Which one is this
And
on?
then
Which
you
one are talking
also
about?
have Alien Resurrection.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Because then you also have later in the movie where she's having that weird moment with the hybrid alien, the fucking newborn,
Ew.
where
Yeah.
she's got the long hair and then the newborn, she's like molesting it on like rubbing on it and like
Trying to be motherly.
like
Yeah.
soothing it and then like cuts her hand, like it's all in her face also, that same similar type of look. And I believe even in the movie, the aliens, like earlier in the movie, the alien comes to her and it doesn't kill her because it knows that she has the DNA of a queen alien in her. Like it senses the DNA.
God,
There's
that
a
movie looks fucking
face-to-face.
terrible.
In Aliens, there's a face to face when she's in the loader and she's fighting the queen, and they have a face to face. And maybe you're thinking that.
Yeah, more like she's catching a loader.
Where like it puts out the second mouth and tries, but
Yeah.
it misses her.
You guys seen all this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
So-
other resurrection.
From what I looked up, Aliens did not have a post-credit scene or sound theatrically.
See that.
It wasn't released until the special edition home release. That was when they added the sound.
All the
and-
clones.
The sound is either a face hugger scurrying on the floor or an egg cracking open. But again, that wasn't released. That there was no sound added until they released a special edition of the film for home video.
See, I don't know why people hate on this, but I really liked Alien Resurrection.
Winona
I
Ryder
enjoyed
was
it.
in
I liked
this?
it. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she was.
Yeah, she plays
was
the
a
She was
android.
an android,
Yeah.
wasn't she?
Nope.
Yeah,
I liked.
Ron
This is
I
what we're
liked.
talking about?
too.
I liked Resurrection myself.
So is
Yeah,
this
so
is a
there's
regular xenomorph?
Yeah, it's a regular xenomorph, and then there's like later, like in that similar scene, that scientist is like right up against the glass.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's Brad Dourif or whatever his name is.
He's in a
The
bunch
voice
of shit. I
Chucky.
forget his name, but
But yeah, Tony, in this movie, fucking Ron Perlman's in this.
Yeah.
what does he play? Ripley?
Sure. He tries to fuck Ripley.
Sigourney Beaver.
And that scene where she's like falling like through the hive and all the aliens like carrying her. It's fucking. Oh, the fucking newborn alien.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I think the water
That's a
scene
weird-
was amazing.
Even this guy, he's in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
He always plays
Fast
like a
and the
gangster or thug. Oh, that's right. He was in Fast and Furious.
He was.
He was the one of the main bad guys.
And he was in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he played Tuco
Yep.
in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Tuco. Yeah.
Oh, so it swims
Alien-
underwater.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Pretty damn good too.
He's
Oh,
got
she's fucking
that
Winona
alien
Ryder.
swims underwater has a different tail, so he can swim better. They like made it have swimming capabilities.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Resurrection, but after seeing that, I don't think I want to.
No,
It
it's
wasn't
not.
bad, but I
it's-
mean,
It's a popcorn flick. It's fun.
it's not good.
It looks like Turtles 3.
No,
Well, Turtles
Alien
is
3
bad.
is like Turtles 3.
And Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Beverly Hills
those
Ninja.
are the threes are the bad ones.
She
But
would have
Alien
beat
Resurrection-
Snipes in basketball if she because she could jump. So I think she
I would
would've.
like-
rather. I would rather watch Alien Resurrection than Alien 3, but that doesn't mean Alien Resurrection was good.
So
But
I
again,
liked Alien 3.
I like
It's
them
you're
hard
all.
to
weird.
follow. It's
Yeah.
hard to follow Alien and then Aliens. Those movies were great.
because in all reality, and I got these things tattooed on me. They should have
Doesn't mean I'm
stopped.
smart.
They should have stopped after Aliens. They should have stopped until
So-
they had like better stories. Like because Alien 3 was trash. So you had Alien, then you had Aliens. Alien 3 tried to go back to what Alien was and try to recapture what Alien was. Then Alien Resurrection tried to try and recapture what Aliens was. And they both failed at capturing the magic of those first two movies.
But wasn't Alien 3 a failure because the director wanted it to be a failure? Like he didn't want to do it. And
Yeah,
so
they just like backed up
it's like,
a truck
if I
full of
make
money
it
to him.
bad, they'll kick me off. And then they didn't kick him out.
I
Yeah,
think
like he
Alien
purposely, he's
3
like,
was
I don't want to make this.
inevitable.
I'm gonna kill everybody. So he purposely killed Newt and Hicks because he didn't want to make the movie. He's like, I'm gonna kill Ripley. That way they can't make any more of these movies. Like he did not want that movie to be good.
But
He
I,
didn't want the franchise to continue.
I feel like that idea was inevitable because you saw one, you saw two. Eventually, Ripley's gonna be made to produce an alien. I think that was
No.
inevitable in the series.
But again, like, while that might have been inevitable, the manner in which they did it was stupid, right? And so there's the interview, and I mentioned this last week, where James Cameron and Michael Biehn are on a podcast and they're talking, right? And James Cameron's like, I like whoever the director of Alien 3 was. He's like, I like him. This was his first director, like, major film. He's like, and he's gotten significantly better, and he and I have talked, and we're friends and everything. He's like, but I don't understand how you take a film that spends an entire movie creating these characters and making them likable and creating relationships, and then before the film starts, you kill off the characters. Like, you would think that it would be at least, right? It would be at least worthy of killing them on screen. Like, okay, the first 20 minutes, the first 30 minutes, you see them die, and they didn't. They wanted to do it off screen. And the funny thing was, Michael Biehn was like, yeah, they wanted me to come in to do a few shots for like a couple of hours, and they were going to pay me an insane amount of money. And when they told me what they were going to do with the character, I told them, hell no. So he refused to come back and do the shots because he's like, it's a waste of a character, right? Like, you take a character that people actually liked and you get rid of them for nothing, for no payoff, for no reason. There's no emotional attachment. There's no emotion when the character dies at all. And then you said it was inevitable, right? And I agree with that. But the issue is, it just didn't make sense, right? Even today, we can't figure out how did it happen. And the director was doing it, like Chris said, because he figured, okay, if I tell you I'm killing off your characters, I'm killing off the main character so you can't make any more of these, you're going to kick me off the film that I don't want to be on anyway. I want to do this other film that you took me off of to do this film because the person who was going to do it dropped out of it, and I don't want to do it. So if I tell you I'm going to ruin it for you moving forward, you're going to take me off of it. And they didn't. The studio was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And so he stayed and he ruined everything.
So
But he said purposefully he did it.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying that didn't happen. But when I watch these movies, when I see one has nothing to do with two in regards to the characters that develop in two. You don't even know them in one. You find them in two, right?
Right.
Except for Ripley, who you spend the entire movie.
But she's gonna be like, yeah, she's gonna be in the other movies. You know, she's the anchor character. She's Marvel Jesus. She's gonna be in the next couple movies. So then Hicks and Newt are not even in the first one. They appear in the second one. So in my opinion, they are not anchor characters. They're just supporting characters for that movie. So when you came on to the third movie, it didn't matter whether they survived or not. Their place was the second movie. The third movie is a whole nother run of characters that Ripley is the anchor for. And so, hold on, before you make that face. So, you got to fix your face. So, it didn't matter if Hicks died or not. He protected Ripley. He protected Newt. He did his job in the second movie. He doesn't survive. As a Marine, he goes out. God rest him. Go enjoy Terminator. And then you've got Newt, they killed her off the best they could, which was dignified because she's a child. They didn't show it on screen. They didn't do anything weird. They just said she got killed by a facehugger, but she drowned first, so she cool. And Ripley's the only thing that survived. So now Ripley survives, and Ripley has another adventure in a different timeline, in a different place, where she is the person who is knowledgeable about, oh my God, what's happening? What's going on? Why are people dying? Why are we being hunted? It's an alien. Let me tell you all about what's happened to me in the past. I don't think it's relevant that the characters that got carried from 2 to 3 passed. They're just characters supporting the movie.
So I understand what you're saying, Tony. But the thing is, when you spend the entire movie saving Newt, right? You spend the entire movie, they're trying to get out, and she goes back purposely to save Newt, right? That's the whole point. And then you have Hicks, his whole thing, he had to get him off there, and he was saving Ripley and Newt, right? And then eventually it became Ripley saving everybody because she's the badass, because she's Zool. That's how it goes. But to have your movie do that and then you just kill them between the movies completely insults everything you just watched in the previous movie that you watched building up to that moment. Like, then none of that mattered. They should have just had Newt die, have Hicks die in the movie, and just let Ripley continue on her way.
But they're showing the rest of the story.
To just kill, no, I'm saying, to just
but they didn't show
off screen.
Yeah, again, they didn't show, like Chris said, it happened off screen. They didn't show it. So you saying it's to show the rest of the movie, they didn't. They didn't show.
But they're not. Here's the thing. They're in the second movie. They finish the second movie. They go into the cryopods, right? Right?
Yeah.
The three of us are alive. Go to sleep. I'll see you when we land. Well, things fucking happen when they land. And so to show that they're passing, it's not, to me, it's not really off screen because the next movie starts and they're like, they passed away in transit to the place that we're going. We crash landed on this
screen because you don't see it. You don't see it on screen ever.
They crash landed on this planet. They're dead, and Ripley survives. They supported what they needed to do. They were there to start the third movie.
Sure. I mean, did you
could have started the third movie without either of them? Like,
have you not seen Iron Eagle 2?
Yeah,
same shit.
So again, like, I assume you've seen Iron Man and then Iron Man 2, right?
Right, Iron Man 2, the new batch.
Yep. Yeah, so in Iron Man 2,
the search for
at
Spock.
the end of the film, between Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3, did they kill Black Widow out of curiosity?
No, she just got more naked.
No, they didn't kill her, right? So she was introduced in Iron Man 2, and she was developed as a fully fleshed character.
Yeah, she
right?
was.
So let me give you this example. How many of the other characters in Aliens were actually fully fleshed out? None of them. Newt and Hicks were the only characters other than Ripley and partially Bishop that were fully fleshed out. The reason for that is when you talk about supporting characters are flat. They're essentially just stereotypes, right? They're just archetypes. So you have Vasquez, right? She had some cool scenes, but she's just like the badass kill everything military person, right? You had
Hudson.
damn, who was the guys the
Bill
guy
Paxton?
always drinking smoking the cigar, right? Like
Capone.
yeah. So he was the guy who was in charge, right? Like he's the guy giving out the orders, who's always like a hard ass to everybody.
Sergeant.
You had the soldier played by Bill Paxton, who was always scared of everything. I don't want to fight. I don't want to be here. This wasn't what I was supposed to do.
Game over.
They were playing
He
archetypes,
used to be at a barbecue.
right? Like they were playing archetypes. Hicks and Newt were not playing archetypes. They were fully fleshed out characters. So to say they served their purpose, had they been flat or static characters and then died that way at the beginning of 3, nobody would have cared. But those two characters were not treated the same way as all the other Marine characters whose names we knew, who spent a lot of time in the film. They were supposed to be special. So killing them off like that made no narrative sense. It was a narrative hole, right? And it was specifically done to piss off Fox so that they would remove the director so he wouldn't have to do it, and they just let him do it.
I think you got more attached than you should have.
I think that, you're not actually looking at how narrative structures work, but I get it.
But Alien 3 sucked. So that's what it comes. Not as bad as Alien versus Predator are, though. Like, let's go there.
I don't know anything past Alien 3, so
I mean, Jose, you know about narrative. Like, what do you think?
Fucking narrative.
You're
You're
talking,
muted.
but you're muted, Jose.
now you're even more
You're
muted.
still muted.
Yeah, now
How
you're
are you
more
double
muted.
muted.
Your mic itself is muted. I see the red light.
He's probably in his Discord
Okay,
at the same time.
there
Yeah,
we
now
go.
you're-
he's
Okay,
back.
there we go. That was
I
weird.
saw the light go out.
Oh yeah, I saw. All right, so just a couple of things. So the story
About
about David Fincher is not entirely correct. So basically, like, because John's creating this narrative that David Fincher didn't originally want to do the movie. That's not true. What actually happened was Fox. They wanted a very specific marketable movie following the success of the second one. So they hired brand new director, never done a movie before. Obviously, we all know who David Fincher is now. Like, he did Fight Club and like Seven and all these amazing movies. But Alien 3 was set to be like his first like directorial movie, his first debut. And so Fox hired him because they believed that he was gonna, because it was his first movie, that he was gonna be like very easy to control, and that ended up like not being the case. So the dissatisfaction from David Fincher's end actually happened throughout the production of the film. So originally, like, he actually wanted to do it, but it was because Fox kept interfering and kept saying and kept like denying like some of his requests, and ultimately like just denied him doing like reshoots and all this stuff. Um, that's where David Fincher ultimately was like, "Fuck this! Like, I don't want to be a part of this," and then ended up just like leaving, and left like Fox to basically do the cleanup work, because he didn't even edit the film. He like walked off before that, so that's why he was like pissed off and all that. So, but originally, like, he was like, he wanted to do this, and that's why there were some other things too. Like, the reason why Ripley died at the end was solely because Sigourney Weaver herself joined
out.
the movie because she wanted Ripley to be dead by the end of the movie. That was the sole condition of her joining. So it wasn't David Fincher's idea. It was actually Sigourney Weaver's, and then David Fincher had to. It was originally like another writer, who ended up doing that part, like doing the original draft of the story with like Sigourney Weaver dying. Newt and Hicks and the rest of the people dying, that was a David Fincher decision that obviously like made a lot of people angry, because I agree with John, like those were like fully fleshed out characters, and did they really need to die? I mean, if we're looking at it in the lens of like, oh, this is going to be like David Fincher's first movie, and he wanted to turn the movie into kind of like a mirror of the original Alien, where it's just all about Ripley.
Oh.
You know, that those two characters were kind of, unnecessary in that telling of the story.
So I know we're coming to the
I
end
don't
of
understand.
this. I have a question that I'd like to pose to you guys because people have been talking about it recently.
I now understand. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Um,
my name changed. I'm like, I don't understand, but now I figured it out. That's pretty
so
cool.
my question would be, because there are such big Alien and Predator fans in here, how would you guys feel if some of the rumors that they're talking about, since Sigourney Weaver recently said that she'd be open to returning to another Alien movie?
I bet she would.
There's rumors that the movie that they're considering would essentially erase Alien 3 and Alien 4 and like treat those as kind of like a cryo sleep dream or whatever, and it would bring Newt and Hicks back with Ripley.
Those were several years ago. Those rumors came out. And they were in production. It was the Beaucamp, or I can't think of his fucking name. The same guy who I believe he did District 9.
District 9.
Ooh, I love that movie.
Yeah, he had a version where it was basically retconning Aliens to make it the sequel to Aliens and have Newt and Hicks be alive and continue the story from there. That was several years ago, and it's never gone any further.
Well, yeah, no, but
there's been like some images, like drawing and concept art and everything.
There's recent talk.
Well, no, they're talking about it.
Yeah.
They're talking about it again because Sigourney Weaver just a couple months ago said that she would be willing to reprise Ripley one more time if the story was right and there was a reason to bring her back, but that she wouldn't want to be the Ripley that we see in Alien 4. She wouldn't want to have to deal with that. And so that's why people are talking again about.
Because I get that, because Ripley in Alien 4, she's not
Ripley. She's weird.
Like, well, yeah, she's very, because you gotta remember, like she's very robotic, right?
Yeah.
Because she is like, the aliens themselves are biomechanics. Like, she's got that very biomechanic personality. Everything's very factual. So she doesn't have the personality that you get to know through the first two movies, and even part of the third. So I understand why she wouldn't want to do that. I mean, recently she was, I don't know what the hell I was watching. I can't think of it on Facebook. I think she's doing like a press run for the new Avatar movie.
Yes.
And it was her and a bunch of her co-stars, and they made them pick on the screen, would they rather fight xenomorphs or Navi? And fucking Sigourney Weaver went straight to the Navi. She's like, I'll fight them. And like, isn't Zoe Sandell in that too?
So yes, yeah. Saldana,
so she went. Yeah, so she went over there with Sigourney Weaver, and then one of the other actors went there, and then like the two guys were like, "Oh, we'll take on the xenomorphs. They're easy." Man, Sigourney Weaver started pleading with him, like, "No, you are an idiot. You cannot." And then Zoe Saldana's like, "Yo, that's Ellen Ripley. Like, she knows not to screw with these things." And then they're like, "Okay, we're gonna go with her." Like,
because I mean, in all honesty, I would absolutely be excited to see a film that essentially took place after Aliens and kind of erased Alien 3 and Alien 4.
Right? I think she has reprised her role in other media, like in Alien Isolation. Like, she did lend her likeness and her voice to the game for the DLC. So it's not like she's trying to like stay away from the franchise. So
no,
yeah, but she was the main character's mom too, right?
Yeah,
based on her.
Hey, 2 seconds. I've been holding that too long. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. I guess the problem that I have, like, it depends on the story, right? It all depends on the story. But if you're just gonna have it like Alien 3 never happened, so you just have like, oh, this takes place of them waking up in the chamber. Like, you're gonna have to have something further to explain why she's aged so much if they're not supposed to age when they're frozen, right? She's aged, Hicks is aged, fucking Newt is a 50-year-old woman now. Like, you're gonna have something. There's gonna be a lot of backstory to clear up all the aging process that's happened.
I just don't like the idea
Unless
of
they're
like
gonna be like, oh,
retconning
sorry,
films
we
like
have to get a new young girl to play Newt. We're gonna use CGI to make y'all look younger.
No,
Like-
she said that she'd want them to be older, right? And that she had talked to Michael Biehn and she'd even talked to Jim Cameron. She's like, I've talked to Jim, and Jim might be interested in revisiting as well, or at least helping with a story that would take place after that. Because he had a story in mind after Aliens, he just never got around to doing it.
Yeah.
Because after Aliens, didn't he essentially go right into production of Terminator 2? Like
pretty much.
of kind of like getting everything figured out and starting to work on everything. And so
pretty much. I think,
like
yeah.
I mean,
don't
I'd
know.
be like I said, I'd be curious of a story. I'd just like with Ghostbusters. I don't need to see the guys back. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. Like continue the world in that universe. Absolutely. I don't think I need to see a Ripley focused movie. A support character or cameos in an upcoming movie, I'm fine with. You can make it work, but like, I don't know if I need to see a Sigourney Weaver led Aliens movie.
Is that one of those things where it's like you kind of like with Terminator, right? You don't necessarily have to see Schwarzenegger to know it's a Terminator movie.
Right, because like now it's the age thing. Like they're really aged out for what you'd want from that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So why not let the franchise fade, man? Just call it.
Oh, because it's an amazing franchise. Calm down.
What were you saying, Jose?
No, I was saying that I think the biggest difference. I mean, there's a big difference between those two. I mean, Schwarzenegger like wants to be a part of like every Terminator film, like franchise, like film in the franchise because he believes he's a big part of it. Like he's the original Terminator. The design for the T-800 is based off of Arnold's likeness, so it's like he specifically wants to be in like all of those projects. Whereas like Sigourney, up until recently, like she wasn't really like a part of it. Plus, like
she didn't like the stories.
No, she didn't, which is why like in Alien 3, the whole her being in that role. I mean, she didn't even want to be in Alien 3. The only reason she wanted to be in it is because of that condition of like killing off the Ripley character because she felt like the character had already been through enough. So, and of course, they ended up doing Alien Resurrection.
So to Cuban's point, and to Chris's point at the same time. So like Cuban's like, Arnold wants to be involved. He wants to be because we'll call it what it is, right? The popularity of like, hey, I'm the Terminator. There's nobody else. I'm the Terminator.
Yeah.
But to Chris's point, same thing kind of with Sigourney, where it's like, well, I'm Ripley. And that's true. But here's the thing. You can't age out the Terminator. Well, I'm sorry. You can't age out. Yeah, you can't age out the Terminator because you can't have a 60-year-old version of the T-800 that saved John Connor. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it does though. But
Hold on.
what you're saying.
Adults are talking. Give me a second. So Ripley,
You're wrong.
Ripley's different. Ripley can be 60 years old, 70 years old in the movie, and it's just that Ripley has aged.
Tony, watch this for a second. Ready? You're wrong.
Once out of this whole fucking cast. Go ahead.
No, not once. We're pointing it out now because specifically with what you said about Terminator, remember that the skin on the Terminator skeleton specifically is designed to age. So the longer the Terminator survives without being damaged, it will age. It'll still be strong. It'll still be, capable of doing things. So Arnold wouldn't be able to capably do that stuff, but through movie magic, he absolutely would. And in canon, it already makes sense because he tells you that if he weren't able to accomplish his mission or he did accomplish his mission, he would just exist until his power reserves eventually failed or he was killed off. So, like, Arnold could theoretically play the Terminator until he's dead.
Don't you see like an older Arnold in like one of the more recent movies?
Terminator Genesis.
Where he's got the wife and all that bullshit.
And then also in Dark Fate. And in Dark Fate. In Genesis,
as well.
He doesn't have a wife, but in Dark Fate, he does. But in Genesis, you see an old Terminator. And in Dark Fate, you also see an old Terminator.
But how long are you going to carry that on before the idea of an old Terminator is just like, this is stupid. This isn't Terminator. Terminator.
So-
Okay,
It's not though.
So-
Now here's a take, and people can agree or disagree with me.
likely disagree.
I think that if Arnold's not in a Terminator movie, don't make a Terminator movie.
Ah,
I don't. I mean, he's such.
why can't he have a
his-
cameo? Or is he too distinctive?
He's because, like you said, he is the T-800, right? It's not like he could like, oh, he's just like. There's thousands of T-800s. It's him.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's not like he's been in a part of like every single Terminator franchise. Like
And
What's
have
the one where
He
okay.
has been, except he was digitally inserted in Terminator Salvation. He's been in every Terminator
Okay,
movie.
is that the one?
Oh, okay.
Is that the one where they're showing the skin going on and it's the young?
It's got
yeah, that was
Christian
like a
Bale in
CG.
it.
Yeah, it's the young Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yes.
He's like superimposed and he's like comes out and he's still naked trying to catch Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
because like when you had the chance with Terminator 2, right? You introduced the T-1000, right? So you have a different Terminator, but every other you still have Arnold as the Terminator in all these other movies.
Yep.
I feel like if you're gonna continue a Terminator, it has to be Arnold. Like you can't all of a sudden change the T-800. You have to introduce another Terminator that's gonna look completely different. But who's gonna fucking watch a fucking Terminator movie without Arnold? You can get away with a Aliens movie without Ripley because you have a huge universe that they could be in.
And we've seen that
Wait.
be successful. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but a Terminator movie without Arnold, like, I feel like you need Arnold for a Terminator movie. If you can't have Arnold, just don't make it. Make a new,
I
a
would
new
watch
movie.
it depending on what the story was, right? Like, if they had a good reason for Arnold not being there, I could probably look past it. Like, so in the most recent movie that James Camp helped write, Dark Fate, they didn't even have Skynet. Like, Skynet's gone. It was a new AI system called Legion, which was created specifically for warfare. And the Terminators were different. They weren't the like platinum looking skeleton. They were a dark, like
Like gunmetal.
Yeah.
no, it was like black metal.
but and,
yeah, but
and
like-
but and they were consisting of like nanites and stuff. Like you talk about the Rev
But
9.
what was their human form
I'm
looking
talking
like?
about
when they
what
put skin?
was it?
The Rev 9.
Yes, yeah. It was like a mixture of the T-800 and the T-1000, but even
Cool.
without the nanites on it, the base skeleton was black and not silver, and it was meant to look different because it was
Oh.
not a Skynet creation.
But when it had skin on it, what did it look like?
It looked like Ghost Rider
So
from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was Gabriel Luna as the Terminator.
Oh, okay.
I think it was
Well,
Gabriel
like-
Iglesias.
Oh,
as the
I'm like a
Terminator.
skeleton head on fire. That sounds awesome.
I think at one point in the movie, the skeleton version is actually on fire, but it's not just the head; it's the whole body.
But like, I don't know. Like I said, people might not agree with me, but if you're gonna do a Terminator movie and you don't have Arnold, I feel like just make a new movie, a new
But
franchise.
what
and
if
just do
okay?
something else.
But what if it's a Terminator movie and it's strictly about the assault, like Salvation tried to do right in the last 20 minutes or whatever it was, right? Was it last 20 minutes? I guess.
Yeah, last 20, 30 minutes. Yeah.
So what if there's a movie and it's strictly about the assault on Skynet compound from the resistance side? You can make a whole. You never even have to show Arnold. It could be.
I mean, but then you need a whole. You need like hundreds of Arnolds actually.
They don't
because
have to
they're
show
the
the skin.
factory.
They just have
You
to
could
show
just
the
have a bunch of
skeletons out there.
T-800 skeletons.
Right.
You just have
If they
yeah,
just
you
had
have
like
the
thousands of
T-800
T-800 skeletons, and the resistance is the whole movie is about them how somehow they're going to storm, the compound.
I mean, no, you could absolutely make it. I just don't think you should. Like, if Arnold's not in it, I don't think it shouldn't be a
I
Terminator movie.
would
Now,
like to.
can we all agree that Terminator is his biggest movie?
Oh, for sure,
Yeah, of course.
I agree.
Right.
I think
And
it's
if we all
his
agree
biggest-
that
What
Like
would
was about
compete
to
with
say
it?
no.
What would compete with it?
Jingle all the
Jingle
way.
Kindergarten Cop.
No. Commando.
Batman?
Oh my
Batman and
God.
Robin. Batman and Robin.
Come on, everybody, chill.
But then, like, at the same time,
What's going
I
to
mean, of
compete with it?
course.
Twins.
it's
Ooh,
a good movie. But look, so of course he wants to be part of every movie because that's his biggest movie. Same way
Hey,
Sigourney Weaver now, her biggest movies would be Aliens, right?
Can we
Her
backtrack
biggest-
to District
Technically,
9?
it would be Avatar, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't know.
It depends on how we're measuring like success. So
Her success for her personally, like she was already
she's the most well known for Ripley.
She was already Sigourney Weaver when she did Avatar.
I would say she's the most well known for being Ripley. Yes, that I would agree with.
Were you backtracking, Tony?
I was going to say, so you got somebody mentioned District 9 earlier. Did anybody not
Great
think
movie.
that movie is so fucking underrated?
Oh, I love that fucking movie.
That's a great movie. Yeah,
And how
I heard that
John,
they're.
I swear to God, your
recently
face
that
is
they're
so
doing-
disgusted right now.
What?
I'm like, but anybody think nothing is an awesome movie, and your face goes, "Oh God damn!"
I mean, because I thought it was a decent movie, but I don't think it's underrated. I think it's overrated. I think people saw it, and because it was so new, like they were like, "Ooh, this is interesting. Nobody's ever done this before." But if you go back and you rewatch the movie, at least when I have, I don't think anything in there stands out as being groundbreaking or like genre defining. Like the movie is a well-made movie. Does it deserve people saying, "Oh my God, this is so underrated and it was so like this and that"? I don't think so. It's not.
So hold on a minute, because Joe's making that same face like you both have diarrhea. So just to clarify that, so let's be real about this. So an alien race shows up on the planet. The humans basically say, "Fuck you." We turn around and not enslave them, but damn near we put them in concentration camps. We essentially have a whole nother Holocaust for aliens.
So essentially, what you're saying is it's a created interpretation of what happened in South Africa, where it's based and filmed. It's essentially what you're saying, except that the aliens, they use aliens instead of the dark-skinned Africans because they don't want to be overly racist, right? So again, the movie doesn't do anything spectacular, and I'm not taking anything away from it. I enjoy the Avatar movies, but the Avatar movies are literally Dances with Wolves and Fern Gully smashed together.
100% Avatar sucked, and yes, you are correct.
So it's like when you look at
trash.
District 9, when you look at District 9, you can't really say anything other than this is a sci-fi adaptation of what happened during apartheid in South Africa. It's located in South Africa. It's everything that happened to the black-skinned individuals in South Africa during apartheid happens to the aliens.
So what you're saying there was is that
hilarious.
Okay, hold on. So what you're saying is that it was a metaphor, that the movie was a metaphor for what happened in South Africa, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What is the problem with that?
I didn't say there was a problem with it. I said that it doesn't make
No.
So if you recall what I said in the beginning is I didn't say it was a bad movie. I said it was a good movie, but I think people add too much greatness to the movie that doesn't actually exist. The movie did not do anything new or fresh or spectacular in the sense of storytelling other than swap out an actual thing for an interpretation of that thing that they wouldn't get in trouble for.
Let me ask you a question. How many other movies brought to light the South African apartheid in a way like that?
Are you talking about a national scale? Right? Because like in a national scale, probably not many.
I don't have any popcorn, guys, so just keep going.
There are tons of films about that that only released in South Africa.
That were as successful. No, but that's my point, is that directors are going to make films in a way that's going to imitate real life. And that's what that movie did. It artistically created a metaphor using an alien species to recreate or retell the story of South African apartheid, because outside of South Africa, honestly, it's not taught a lot. So that's part of the thing. So that's why when people say it's an underrated movie, it's because like the movie itself wasn't like a big, huge like box office success. Like, but it was a critical success. Critics loved the movie. And it got nominated for, I think like best visual effects and stuff like that. So it's like, it was a very good movie. it's a movie that when people discuss like their top like sci-fi movies, typically it's not listed, even though it might have the distinction of being like one of the better sci-fi movies, especially more modern sci-fi movies in the last 25 years.
Actually, District 9 was a huge box office success. It was completed they only spent less than $30 million in the film, and it made over $210 million. It is considered a huge box office success. It's not. So when you say it's not, like, it absolutely was.
When I say that depends on how you define success, right? If you define success as it made positive money, then sure, yes, it's a success in that way. But when I'm talking about like in a movie like that, that's like a big sci-fi feature film, like it did not make as much money as like, say, a movie like Interstellar, or a movie like any of the Jurassic World movies, or any of the MCU movies.
But it did,
right?
It did.
No, it didn't. You just said it made like 200 million.
Yes, but again, it's based on the budget, and when you actually look it up,
yes, which is why I preempted the argument with it depends on how you define success.
It made 7 times its budget, which is way more than most sci-fi films make.
Yeah, well, most sci-fi films also don't have that small of a budget.
But that's my
sci-fi
point.
films.
Like, it's absolutely a huge box office success. That's the point.
No, it isn't. Now,
Paranormal Activity
depends.
Was a huge box office success.
Yeah, so was Blair Witch Project, sure. But like
because the budget was like $5.
Yeah, it depends on how you define success. It's not like what I would define it as is like when it first came out, how many weeks did it stay as number one?
So I mean,
sorry.
Not like, again, not to beat a dead horse, but I'll point out a couple of things. You say it depends on how you define box. You say it depends on how you define box office success. I'll say first thing is it's one of the only sci-fi movies to ever make 7 times its budget. Right? It has tons of positive reviews and Academy Award nominations, including for Best Picture, which most sci-fi films don't get. Right? It had incredibly smart marketing. Right, because the marketing campaign was built on this mystery of what's
How many weekends did it stay number one?
That I can't tell you. That I don't know.
One weekend. How can you say something is a success if it was number one for one weekend? That's it.
I mean, 7 times its budget is pretty.
Who cares? Who cares?
I mean,
7 times its budget doesn't matter.
Cares. Like everybody
bro, it does not matter. That's not how you define success.
This was new when we started. Just say it.
Crazy. Your definition of success is crazy.
All right, so
it's absolutely not. Like it was.
Yes, can we all agree?
It was not the Best Picture. That's definitely.
Can we all agree that Black Panther is just Lion King? Can we all agree to this?
100%.
The funny part is, in the midst of all this conversation, Joe sent me Arnold Schwarzenegger's dong.
That's why you were smiling. That's interesting.
The best thing is I see him look down and I know exactly what he was doing. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, but then Cuban's getting higher voice than he did at John, and John's trying to defend himself, and I'm like, get him! The whole fucking time.
So when Jose says that District 9 only stayed at number 1 in the box office for 1 week, he neglects to tell you that Harry Potter, like whatever Harry Potter movie came out that year, came out right after. So Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, which
Sorcerer's Vagina, whatever
always going to be number 1. It doesn't matter. Like, that's so absolutely ridiculous. Like, yes, it was for 1 week because Harry Potter came out. So of course that shit. What
I was wondering what the next weekend movie was. So that would make
Harry Potter and
double back. So like about District 9. So you guys were talking about the whole South Africa thing.
Movie.
I listen. It's just a damn good movie. So it's the cinematography is good. The movie itself is good. I think like the ideas are cool. But the biggest thing for me about that movie is the way it's shot, the way they explain what's happening to this alien race that comes to Earth. Because in my head, I'm like, every part of this is 100% relevant. This could happen. It's plausible.
It did happen.
No, I'm saying
the way they treat the aliens did happen.
Okay, but I'm saying in real life, if the aliens came down This is something I could see Earth absolutely doing because we're damn near Neanderthalic with that kind of stuff.
100% wrong. If aliens came down today, people like Chris would be
Repeat their
shooting them as
bitches.
soon as they showed up. Like there would be no landing. If the ship got to the ground and the door opened, people would be shooting. That's it. There would be no concentration camps. There would be mass extinction. That's what would happen.
Okay, no.
Cuban, do you want to
this
step
is going
up
on
or
a
you want me to
different
keep going?
topic. I'll tell you
No,
this right
sorry,
now.
I tuned him out.
God damn it.
I'll tell you
So-
this right now. If aliens came down if tomorrow a fucking news press conference opens up and aliens came from fucking space and landed right on the White House lawn, our world would change. People would go batshit crazy, and it would be the end of what we know as our current state. People would just go batshit because you'd have religious people would be freaking out because everything that they believe is now that might be wrong, and then you have the people freak out because now these are aliens, and then you have people trying to figure out if we have to deport them. Like it would be a huge clusterfuck.
So I was going to say that I think one of the best parts of that movie is by far the reporter who is like reporter or he's like half a reporter and half like a what do you want to call that? Almost like immigration, right?
Okay.
Traveling around, telling them where's your papers, all that kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So when he gets sprayed by the alien shit,
DNA or whatever.
yeah, and starts to turn. I thought that was a really cool transition to that movie. Because now he's like part of that world. Now the movie transitions and it's not about them. It's about this human who now has to be like, oh shit, I'm becoming that which I've been fighting against so much, which I get it. Happens in millions of other things. But I think it's just the way they shot it and the way they transitioned it. And then they show the mothership at the end, not spoiling for anybody. The mothership takes off at the end and it's like everything's happening like what was supposed to happen. And that sets the stage for District 10. And I cannot fucking wait for that movie to come out. I think District 9, again, is way underrated. Great cinema, great movie, great story, great philosophy, everything behind it. Don't care what anybody else thinks. I thought it was a good movie.
I didn't say it was.
I
bad
saw a thing
movie.
recently that
I just said
District
it was
10
not
is on.
underrated.
Yeah, I saw a thing recently that District 10 is in the works, but at the same time, it's 2026, so that could be AI nonsense.
It's also been in the works since the first one came out.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And the director goes back and forth between whether he wants to make one or whether he doesn't want to make one.
So I think we're gonna wrap this up before
This is the longest one yet.
and Psycho start yelling at each other again. As entertaining as that was, I think we're gonna wrap this up. Damn, we're 10:30 already.
I know. I got church tomorrow.
Been wrapped up.
I bet you do. Walk into that bitch, you get lit on fire. So,
Yeah, so-
Tony, you got anything to? Oh God.
No, I was just gonna say, like the most recent thing that's been said about District 10 is the director and writer was asked about it while he was promoting Gran Turismo, and he said that the project has been shelved indefinitely. He's not actively looking to make it. He doesn't think that he's going to do anything else with it. There was a time he was very excited about it, but now he is not. So he doesn't expect for anything to come of it anymore.
So
well,
he's
it
a
was
Mitch.
like
Gotcha.
shot overseas. It could be District Sven.
Okay, so Tony, you got anything to plug?
So, no, I don't know what Drinks and Toys is going to be on Tuesday. I haven't really thought about it. I know we had a couple. Hold on. I know we had a couple. You got that face on you. We had a couple things. We were actually supposed to have representatives from Blockies potentially, and then you were talking to the Reluctant Adult, which I would love to have them on.
Yeah, I'm working with them. I asked
That
them if
would
they
be
had like
so
any
cool.
specific topics they'd like to do, and they said whatever, it doesn't matter. So
it's Adam and
Awesome.
Paul, right?
sure.
I
I don't know the
names.
name.
Well, they're
heard of
hilarious. They're a lot of fun. If you haven't seen them, they're a lot of fun to watch. So I would love to see that those guys come on. But if not, we definitely have questions we need to sit down and put together for the representative from Blockies that he can get passed by legal so he can actually talk about it with us. But that's all I got. I had a great time tonight. I would love to talk more about District 9 and piss everybody off. But save that for another adventure.
So, with that being said, does anybody have anything to plug? Jose, are you streaming again yet?
No, I've just been working, man, and I don't have the time to stream. Plus, my computer's been on the fritz, so
Got to
Ain't
play
that a
Arc
bitch.
Raiders.
Yeah.
That's a
Well,
new game.
then
World of Warcraft has an update if anybody's playing it.
is that still a thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
shit. I had no idea. I thought that died. So, all right, then I guess we're gonna, get on out of here. Tell people to tune in next week. Where you know what, we're gonna answer a question that everybody has, and that is, mummies. Are they just zombies? That's gonna be the question. We're gonna go that route.
They're not zombies.
What happens when you get bit by a mummy? Nobody knows. I think you turn into a fucking zombie because they're
Who
zombies.
the fuck gets bit by mummies? They just kill people. Zombie bites a person, it becomes a zombie.
Right, but you've never seen a mummy bite a person. See?
Let's save this
next
for next
week. This is next week's conversation. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Whoever hung around, we got people watching right now, which this has gone a lot longer and a lot more nonsense than usual. So thanks for sticking through it. And until I guess drinks and toys, and then next week's collectors hideout. See y'all later.
No capes.
Oh man, no fucking capes.